Well, it's nearly 4:30 AM, and like most people who discover my videos, I'm on a YouTube binge as well. I should be asleep, but I'm not. But sometimes YouTube will throw a random video at you and you're thinking, why on earth am I watching this? And you might be thinking that right now. Who is this bloke with his blue cupboards? Which is actually just a plastic. No, I watched a video and I think it's given me something quite close to what lots of people would call a migraine. I don't suffer from migraines, but I think this particular video has given me a migraine. It's a video by Jackson/Lackinson, and the title of the video is Why Friends Might Be Hard to Go Back To. Now, if you're going to do narration for any kind of video, narration and voiceover is a skill, and you should have a nice, varied range of talking to make things interesting, which is lacking in that video. It's very drony, and could we possibly go back? Because this video just laughs at people with homosexuality and transgender. Really slow, monotone voice, goes all the way through. And it talks about the political correctness of the time and why friends might not survive now. It is like that all the way through, and I watched all 22 minutes and 36 seconds of it. My eyes were almost falling out my head in boredom. I did leave a comment. My comment was, and I watched all the video because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't some kind of joke at the end, but no, this video, which has got 49,000 views, nearly 50,000 views, and 33,000 subscribers, I left a comment saying, this video makes me sad. Comedy dies a little bit more due to this video. I watched it all, in brackets, this video. Friends isn't meant to be real. Many TV shows are not. I sit here with my head in my hands wondering if we'll ever be allowed to laugh again. And it's true, isn't it? People now even going into the past to be politically correct and everything like that, you know, like what's happening with Doctor Who, for instance. What used to be a sci-fi drama sort of thing with hints of comedy through it has been completely destroyed. I'm no fan of Doctor Who at all, but I understand from very strong fans of the show that is what's happened to it. And it's just dull. Can we not laugh anymore? This is no by any means an original video from me, because I've commented on this before, but I never realised that, I mean, that channel has so many subscribers and so many views. I had no idea, and likes, I had no idea that the force against comedy and drama was so strong. How everything has got to be scrutinised so much because of the fear of offending people. And it's sad. It really is depressing. Like, you're probably watching it at a ridiculous time on YouTube. You just wanted to take your mind out of the real world. And then a video like this gets thrown in your face. And it goes on saying, I don't really get how these people are meant to be poor, yet somehow seem to be living in the centre of Manhattan. You know what? TV's not real. TV is not real. In the UK, EastEnders, the entire cast of EastEnders seem to have full houses. Where in the reality in London, those houses will be divided into flats and rooms by now, and they will be paying an obscene amount of rent. Manchester, where Coronation Street is set, and maybe Salford a bit, same sort of story there. Not one person on that TV programme could possibly afford to live in that house in real life. TV is not real. TV and YouTube and everything is obviously there to try and keep us out of the real world because it's boring, that we need entertainment. But unfortunately, the PC brigade, not content with ruining the present, now wants to go into the past. And a really good way to do that is obviously to get on board of a sci-fi show that has to time travel and go into the past and turn the past to be political. Well, do you know what? Yes, lots of horrible stuff happened and is still happening. But shoving it into TV shows and talking about TV shows that people clearly love. I mean, how many billions of people around the world have seen Friends? and they're just turning it into something so depressing. Do SJWs, I think social justice warriors, and the politically correct people, and all of this, do they have any sense of humour? I really wonder. I really wonder. And then what really seals the deal on that video is at the end, it says, this video is only made possible thanks to the contributions made on Patreon. To clarify, I'm not against Patreon at all. I'm not a part of Patreon myself. I'm not a part of that. But when people say this video is only made possible thanks to Patreon giving me the support I need to make YouTube video, blah blah blah. No, it's not. Anyone can make a YouTube video. I'm anyone and I'm making one now. Anyone can do it. And, oh God, it's really irritating. It really irritates me. It's just like, I just watched all that video. I know you're expecting me to give you money. At least put it in a more inventive way. To make me interested, to make me wanting to give you money. Don't lie to me and say it's only made possible. YouTube made it possible. The camera you are using and the lights you are using made it possible. Not Patreon. Anyway, that is my reaction to that YouTube video. Now, it's not probably correct to be unsupportive and not liking another YouTuber and their videos. To be really honest, I don't care. It's perfectly allowed. We don't have to like everything. I think it is a really rubbish video, actually, because it's just depressed me immensely. And now I've got to stay up until 5 in the morning to watch more YouTube videos to cheer me back up again so I can go to sleep. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought to this video and to that video if you've watched it, or if you're about to watch it. Please scrass, which means subscribe, comment, rate and share. Or share, comment, rate and subscribe. You know the S is interchangeable. And you know what? That costs you absolutely nothing to do that. Absolutely nothing. Maybe a little bit of time. But it costs you no physical money. Well, unless you're paying for your internet, of course, obviously. You know, you've got to pay for internet. You know what I mean. Anyway, thanks for watching. Scrass. See you when I see you. Bye.
How about that? Seems like that guy really knew what he was talking about, huh? You know, it makes me think about these SJWs. Like that guy said, always talking about the past. Why don't they talk about the future instead? Criticize future things. Don't get stuck in the past talking about things that already happened. Talk about things that ain't happened yet. I think you guys know what I mean. Oh, you didn't expect to see me? Well, you know the name. It's me, Rational Big Boy. Here from... I got roped into this to answer some questions. To finally educate you cucks on the SJW propaganda. So if y'all got any questions, just ask in the chat. And by the way, happy holidays! I know that some people don't like to... Oh no, wait, I meant Merry Christmas. Happy holidays is the bad one. That's, it's... Nowadays you gotta say happy holidays, though. It was probably the liberal indoctrination that made me say that. In schools nowadays, if you say Merry Christmas, they'll put you in jail. Probably forever, nowadays. So anyone have any questions for me? I can't stay for long. I've got a lot of cucks to go take care of. I'll be throwing soy at Santa Claus at the mall. I do not have social media for fear that I will be banned from social media for my controversial views, which, by the way, are actually quite moderate. But nowadays, it's Still too far, just to have moderate views. Jeb Bush, well, that guy, I really believed in him, and I think he would have been great for the country. Unfortunately, he was a huge cuck. Remember when he pulled that turtle out of his pocket? At that moment, you just knew he couldn't be the president. If he had a little turtle in his pocket. You gotta have a loud voice and have a mild distaste for animals. If you like animals too much, well, you know what that means. Killian Vedder asks, what's going on here? Well, it's me, Rational Big Boy, here to answer some questions. Oh, I guess you guys wouldn't have any questions. You're all just a bunch of pseudo intellectuals. This is why I hate the left. I ain't imitating any ANCAPs. I'm an individual with my own personality. Armenia or Azerbaijan? Well, that's a tough question, but I have to say America. Is that a mustache? No, I stay clean shaven. Mustaches are a gay pride symbol, so I steer clear of those. I don't consider myself the smartest individual ever. That would have to go to Jordan Peterson, with Ben Shapiro a close second. Those guys really know their stuff. I'm still learning, but hopefully, down the line, I can start to educate people and become my own kind of intellectual. Is this Jim Sterling? Hell no, it ain't Jim Sterling. Or however I say it. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks video games should be fun. I do not have two sets of arms. I simply have arms as ears, which makes them not arms, but ears. I am not an NPC. Nah. Oh, excuse me. I've been having a lot of steaks today. Gotta get those vitamins. I've been cramming a lot of Monster Energy drink lately. I can hardly sleep with all this PewDiePie drama. Can you believe that the media are going after him for promoting Nazi propaganda? All just for promoting Nazi propaganda. Those guys really are dishonest reporters. I would say subscribe to PewDiePie, but unfortunately he cucked out by saying he wanted to distance himself from extremist viewpoints. He should have taken a stand. ER is one of the smartest channels on all of YouTube. I mean, how funny is it to use racial slurs and say that it's good when left-wing people die? I think that's pretty funny. Well, I wouldn't consider myself a psychologist. That's more of a soft science. I'm a STEM guy myself. Psychology is basically one step away from gender studies, and we all know what that's all about. Why are we getting Fs in the chat? Is something wrong? I do not watch the news. I get my news from YouTube videos. I feel like it's a little more honest that way. You know how biased the news can be. But Sargon of Akkad, that man don't lie. What's it like to share your channel with a soy boy cuck like Lacking Saint? And WTF is up with that? Well, he offers a mirror for my controversial views. Ordinarily, I'd hate a cuck like that. But, you know, he's put himself out there. I don't want to start a channel in case I get banned, as I said earlier. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it here. I might come back later, but I gotta get me some snacky snacks. You talk to that cock-lacking saint, and let him know Rational Big Boy taught you a thing or two about a thing or two. See you later, folks. Well, I'm really glad I managed to get that guy on. I know that, you know, he's a busy guy. He's always going around to various channels doing like live streams and collab videos, but not normally on the left. So I'm glad that he could educate us. Did he say anything interesting to you guys? I think I might be able to get him on later, but I'll have to ask, because like I think he was going on like a Metica stream or something, or like kill stream, or like the what's the one that wrestler guy does? Tonka Trucks. Tonka Trucks is stream.
Tonka? Oh god.
Oh yeah, Tonka something.
Oh, okay. So I only know that guy from. Wasn't he in a Destiny debate?
Oh, why do I platform that guy? Well, I think a range of viewpoints is important, and you know, Rational Big Boy, you know, it's valid. All the stuff he has to say backs it up, so it's like it's perfectly valid stuff. Let me know if I put the chat box in the corner, because I realized that we had this problem where if you're watching the archives, you kind of just had to intuit what I was being asked sometimes, because I would like only half say the question I was being asked. So I messed with that, and now we've got chat box here. Let me know if it's readable or whatever. Also, okay, do I sound okay? And Britt, now you speak.
Hi, I'm speaking.
Is Britt audible to you folks?
We haven't changed the settings at all, have we?
Yeah, the settings haven't been changed, so I should be just as audible as Brett. I don't know who Nesta Markno is off the top of my head. You might need to tell me more. But see how it goes.
Brit is more audible than you.
Oh wow, Britt's actually
That's
louder
a
than me.
first.
Yeah. Okay, now I should be a little bit more audible. Now you speak, Brett.
Hi, I am speaking.
Hang on. Test. Okay. I'm a bit quiet. Maybe I'll just push it all the way.
Jack, you got a fan in the background, so you're culturally appropriating now.
Oh, what, this?
Yeah.
I mean, where did we get that from?
I got it from my grandma.
Exactly, and Brooke's grandma is like Mississippi, so she's like full. So technically, she's culturally appropriating. We're just appropriating her cultural appropriation. Let's get me hair looking nice. God, my hair's been a nightmare today. It's been all frizzy. I think I'm gonna need to give it a shampoo or something.
I think some user named Donna Jack's mom wants you to talk in Essex. Talk like you're from Essex or something.
I am from Essex. You fucking. Big Boy didn't take a stance on the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict. I mean, he's sort of playing all sides, you know. The only thing he believes in is America.
Yes. The American is named Brett.
Yeah, that's Brit in the back.
Yeah.
Just covered by a candy cane.
Technically, it's Brittany, but I don't mind being called Brett.
It's Brittany.
It's Brittany Batch.
There you go. I'm not allowed to say that. Or else I'll get at least a receipt, if not a cancellation. You liked the video about LGBTQ plus representation? Thanks, buddy.
Appropriations?
Yeah. LGBTQ plus. I guess it's a kind of appropriation, but you know, who knows? Yeah, Brittany. Brittany, it is. Gravestone XD asks, why did you move to the US? That thing over there.
I had to say, Little Wage, do not call me a Yank, because I ain't a Yank. That's an offensive term.
Yeah. In like most of Europe, Yank is just a general term for Americans, right? But in America, Yank specifically means people from the north, and Britt's actually from Mississippi, so she takes great offense to that.
I actually don't care too much, but it's just kind of like, it's kind of like an internal sigh, where it's just like, I ain't no Yank.
Yeah. Oh wait, is all the chat box in green? Fucking hell, I can't. There you go. Yeah, that's cool because the room's kind of reddish, so like that with the green makes it all Christmassy. So yeah,
Sorry
I
for
moved here
anybody
'cause
with
of Brett.
color blindness.
We're hoping, yeah, unless you're colorblind, I guess. We're so far the plan isn't to like move here. We want to be going between countries, but obviously that's just like super expensive. So for right now, when we're still kind of building capital, we're settling in one place for a little bit, and that'd be the US right now, just convenient. And yeah, the immigration process has been a massive pain in the arse, constantly having to send new shit and pay fees and whatnot. But I think we're on our way out of that. Mississippi is down in the south part of the US. Southeast.
It's in that part of the U.S. that nobody cares about.
I mean, the thing about Mississippi is it gets memed on a lot because it's highest rates of teen pregnancy,
highest obesity rates, highest high school dropout rates. Actually, it might not be the most obese anymore. I think Alabama might have taken that spot.
More obese?
Who knows? Alabama is kind of like the twin cousin of Mississippi. So they're kind of like one and the same, really.
Yeah. Okay. If you spot anything in the chat that I missed, Britt, go ahead and like ask it when there's like a thing, because I'm just trying to keep up with the chat. Thanks, by the way, for everyone that's joined us today. This is quite a few people. I think this is more. I think last time wasn't it like 70-ish? This time we're up to like up to nearly 100.
Well, I guess Rational Big Boy, brought all
Rational
these
Big Boy
people.
brought in the viewers. I'm sorry if I'm a disappointing follow-up act to Rational Big Boy, but again, we're trying to get him back. Sort of get things a little bit nicer. So I'd just like to thank Jamie J, the Cosine, Lilland Cat, Maximilian Gail, Awesomov, Fair Verona, Gravestone XD, Hot Garbage, Canuck Cousins, Rex Lexa, and Pump Action Musket, whatever. Everyone, CJ Andrews, welcome to all of you. I'm not going to list all of the names, but yeah.
I'll be right back.
I do have moderation. It's only Britt really right now. We do have other folks, but I don't think they're here right now. But if there is someone blatantly like spamming shit or doing like toxic garbage that we don't need here, if there are any garbage humans that appear, just let us know and then we'll take care of them. We're not really high tolerance on this chat, but at the same time, you're free to. You're free to, so much for that. But you're free to disagree with each other and like have arguments and make points and whatnot. Oh man, we've been watching a lot of like anti-SJW channels I found because I'm getting linked to them now. Partly because I've been commenting a lot on the PewDiePie shit, and partly just because of my friend's video. I guess the anti-SJWs got pulled into that, so I'm getting a lot of ANCAPs, people with like elaborate personas that they take on, like a cat superhero man, or a man with a top hat and a monocle wearing a suit, which really pushing the boat out there. I do admire ANCAPs. I think they do put more effort into their presentation than like typical conservative or centrists. Typical conservative and centrist channels tend to just, do what I'm doing now. Like they'll just rant into a camera. But when you get more on the ANCAP-y side, you get people that like have these elaborate characters and build these entire plots around their videos. And then obviously with the left, it's the best. The left is when you get, you know, actually good writing and production design and production value and things like that. Yeah, like Mr. Dapperton, I think someone mentioned. He's the epitome of that ANCAP way with his man wearing a hockey mask. There's a lot of stuff to that.
Oh God.
What's up?
Isn't the right opinion? Isn't that the guy that kind of has like the tuxedo mask looking dude?
The Right Opinion? Okay, so I've heard mixed things about... The Right Opinion seems like he might be a little bit more reasonable than most. I still think it's unfortunate that he has that, you know, top hat and a suit wearing persona with a monocle. Hopefully he just breaks out of it at some point, because it's very obnoxious. But, I mean, he's free to do that and whatever. And I've heard he is better than most, although he's a little bit centrist-y. Which isn't necessarily wrong, because everyone's entitled to different political opinions, but...
Well, I guess
he talks past people a lot, but he's better than most, I think, as far as I know.
It feels like centrism has been kind of appropriated by like people on the right as kind of a means of deflection, where it's like, I'm not alt-right, I'm a centrist. So there are people that do fit the definition of being a centrist, but unfortunately it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, Dorian Day Swooty, don't feel like my videos aren't high enough production value, I won't fit in on the left or anything like that. There's a whole spectrum out there, and honestly, there are so many creators who just make so much better things. Hang on a second, I think mine might be too quiet. Am I too quiet for you folks? Because I can try and do something about that. If it's a problem. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, obviously Sean is one of the biggest channels on LeftTube, and he is literally speaking in front of the screen with very occasional images. It's like a really basic PowerPoint. And my production for my video essays is not that good at all, compared to a lot of other creators out there that are really good and smaller channels. I think the production values on like an actual joke stuff is really good. Like their video essay editing is like phenomenal. I'm not saying that like nobody knows an actual joke. They do have, I think, like, is it like 9K or something like that? But they definitely deserve more. And I think.
Oh yeah, an actual joke.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm blanking off the top of my head. I think Sarah Z has pretty good production values, like on her video editing. I'm not sure. Might be wrong.
One video,
is the audio desynced?
I had no idea. One video I did watch was from Cuck Philosophy about late capitalism in South Korea. Basically, the whole entertainment industry is just a monopoly. Well, I think it's split between like 3 different corporations, but basically a monopoly. So that made me not want to ever listen to K-pop.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was, you should watch it. It was pretty terrible. I was like, holy crap.
I'll check that out. Do you want to link it in chat?
Yeah, I'll try and find it.
You can find some links and sort of thing. I didn't know about that. By the way, someone mentioned wanting to make a lefty cooking channel, and that'd be way up for that. I need an excuse to look at more cool recipes for things, because I have a few things that I like to make. Like I make like a, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but it's like aglio, eolio, whatever it is. If anyone knows, it's like a oil-based pasta. I put like mushrooms and olives and spinach and things like that in it. It's quite nice. It's like garlicky oil thing. It's very nice. But I'm a bit limited on my recipes. I make chilies. I make like maybe the occasional spaghetti bolognese or something like that. I'm getting good at making curries. And sometimes we'll make like Boca burgers.
Cooking with the Cuck.
Cooking with soy.
Dorian D. Sweetie, you better make that channel so you can steal that name.
I know that Luna Oi, is it? I think it's Luna Oi who does the breadcast with Non-Compete. I believe that she has a cooking channel that's obviously a bit leftier. That's as much as I know anyway. And for the record, like, non-political cooking channels, there's a lot of good ones there too. Like Binging with Babish, I find him to be a pretty pleasant person who has some cooking stuff. If anyone's, I'm sure people are familiar with Binging with Babish. She's like the one that gets recommended to everyone. Yeah, Luna Oy does Vietnamese cooking, which is really cool. Like I think she had a recipe for like fish sauce. That's pretty nice. I need to actually do those recipes. Sponsored by. They're so cheap, only $1 a drink.
Actually, the can says 99 cents.
Oh,
Well,
that's like the.
Should say 99 cents.
Did you ever see Atlanta?
No.
So I think it's like a joke in the show Atlanta where they're like buying an Arizona drink and then the thing says, the scanner says like $1.30 or whatever, like $1.30, and he says, but it says 99 cents on the can though, and then the cashier is just perplexed because they look and like, yeah, it does say 99 cents on the can, and then they're just like scanning it through again and it still says $1.29. They're lying to you, folks. You have to break out of the programming.
Well, that's why
Question it.
I think even like on chips, if you like look like right below where they print the price, it says suggested retail price. So, sorry, the joke's ruined.
I'll let them know that so they can cancel. So
Yeah.
they can cancel the show.
Gotta cancel the show now. It's problematic.
Do you have damn you, Google asks, do you have a specific political alignment? I know you're left-leaning and stuff, but are you a socialist, Marxist, anarchist, etc., etc.? I would just broadly call myself a socialist. I'd probably say I'm more on the end of libertarian socialist, but I'm not really gonna. I don't like to assign myself too hard into camps because I do think that something of a unity aspect is important for the left right now. So, you know, whether you're an anarchist or an ANCOM or a LibCom or, you know, a social democrat, whatever, I think it's important for all those folks to group up together. But I broadly call myself a socialist. I've said it in a previous stream, but like I used to say I was more of a Marxist, but I think that Marx had a lot of, he missed intersectionality pretty hard in a lot of his analysis. It makes me not quite identify myself that way, but there's a lot of good to Marx too. Socialist, I would say.
Socialists or social democrats, somebody says. Marie last name says, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of get into our little smaller niche camps as the revolution continues, but for now I think it's not really important for us to identify these distinct groups. Am I too quiet? I can turn the gain, I think, because I'm finding that my bar is always a bit low. Let me turn the gain up a little bit. Test. Do I sound any better now? Alright, I'm just gonna, let's say 2.5. Okay, so that's how I'm speaking at this volume now. Let me know if that sounds okay to you guys. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking it. Jamie J asks, what's your workflow setup like? So usually what I'll do is when I finish a video, or as I'm working on a video, I'll try to get a sense of what I want to do next. I don't work too far in advance. Like pretty much always the video I'm putting out is the video I've spent the last week making. But basically what happened is, as I'm working on one video, I'll start to think about what I want to talk about with the next one. I'll maybe review the material at some point during the night when I have a break. Like, you know, I rewatched Sky High as I was finishing whatever the Eddie Brock video or whatever came before the Sky High one. And yeah, like watching all those 90s cartoons and stuff in preparation for that whole two-parter that I did. Then once the video's out, I'll start working on the script. So usually that'll be the weekend spent on the script, or like the Monday and Tuesday probably bleeding into to get the script done. And then I'll have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, ideally to get the editing part done, which is mostly just a matter of finding relevant clips, throwing them in there. And in amongst the editing, I'll usually record the segments if I have anything live. But usually I don't do too much live stuff because I don't really have the equipment. And pretty much goes from there. Although projects that are bigger tend to take a little bit longer. I'm working on something right now that's a little bit bigger and requires more research. So that has taken me closer to 2 weeks rather than the 1 week. I'm pretty much done with my script. I'm getting going on editing now, and we'll go from there. I think you'll enjoy it. It should be out probably Thursday, the new video. If anyone caught my stream the other day, twitch.tv/laxsaint, you can see my research going on there.
Pump Action Market actually asked an interesting question. Do you think LeftTube will always be at a disadvantage due to how righties upload more frequently and have long streams while you guys upload maybe once a month?
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a potential problem. Like the left wants to make these high production values videos that just aren't possible to be produced at the rate that the right usually produces videos. They're just ranting at a camera. But I think as leftist ideas start to catch up more on YouTube and there starts to be more of a LeftTube community, you'll still get those channels that are just kind of speaking into the camera, which I don't know is the best thing. Like, I don't know if that's the best form because it leads to a lot of, shallow or vapid reactions to things that don't include deeper research into this. And this is how the right tends to trip themselves over a lot, is they'll make these big long videos ranting about the injustice of this thing, and then the news will come out the next day proving that they were wrong. Like they were proven wrong about the Charlottesville thing, where it was they were all desperately trying to say that it wasn't the guy who ran over someone with a car wasn't an alt-writer. I know Ian Miles Chong did a whole thing about that, and he got memed on pretty hard for that. And then there was the whole thing like, oh no, I'm pretty sure she had a heart attack. I'm pretty sure that lady, Heather Heyer, wasn't even hit by the car and died from that. She just had a heart attack later on. So now we know all that was bullshit. They were just speaking from their arse while they had the opportunity to. And weirdly, very few have apologized for that. So,
well, actually, what's kind of interesting, and I hate to, bring up these groups of people, but that's like kind of like the same argument like a lot of Holocaust deniers will do. It's like the Jews weren't killed by the Nazis. They just, died because of lack of nutrition. Jews didn't, it wasn't the Nazis. They just starved to death. So
yeah,
how can they be at fault for that? Like literally,
that's
people have argued
whole
that.
can of worms there. Just the open denial of a lot of things.
I hope I didn't. Oh God, I hope we're not going to get any rational skeptics in here.
At some point we might. The chat box is free to view, so I'm sure we'll get some people that want to just spam edgy shit at us, knowing that it'll pop up on the stream. Opinion of Jeb Bush. He would have been a great leader, and support Jeb 100%. I mean, I do worry about the cult of personality going the other way, where there's a lot of lefties that are sympathetic to Jeb in comparison to, like, Trump, because obviously Trump is his own monster, but it's important to remember that Jeb wasn't exactly, like, revolutionary. Like, Jeb maybe would have been a little bit better than... I mean, Jeb certainly probably would have been better than Trump, because he would have been just more of the same, right? But Jeb's still not really an ally to the left, right?
Okay, I do want to mention, because the memes are happening, the please clap memes. That's actually, in Jeb's defense, this is the only thing I'm going to defend Jeb for. That is actually kind of like, what is it called? Like a soundbite?
Mm-hmm.
So if you consider the context of his whole speech, when he was giving a speech, the crowd was like clapping, at inappropriate times, or when he was like in the middle of a sentence. So then eventually he said, please clap, so they knew when to clap.
Yeah,
because they were like,
misnomer.
They didn't want to keep interrupting him. But that's the only thing I'll say about Jeb. And also something about his guacamole recipe.
Is he still selling that?
I actually found it online somewhere. It was like in an article. So maybe we need to make his guacamole at some point.
I'll be up for that. Apparently it's good guacamole. He, wasn't he was selling, like, guacamole bowls or something?
Yeah,
He had a bunch of merchandise on his website, Jeb Bush, at the start of his campaign. It was like Jeb labeled merchandise, and one of them was like guacamole making kits or something.
it was
He
like
really
a
likes guacamole.
guacamole bowl or something.
Thoughts about Hamilton. I'd like to watch Hamilton, but I don't want to pay however much for a ticket to go see it. We got cookies, by the way. It's Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Unnamed Muffin did ask, will you make videos on other sitcoms? The Big Bang Theory, for instance.
I mean, possibly. The thing is, I haven't watched really any Big Bang Theory, and what I have seen, I'm not really a fan of. I don't usually like to just come out of video from a place of distaste. I like to take things that I'm already passionate about and already know about and care about, and then make videos on that.
I will mention,
but I'll consider it.
For an Unnamed Muffin, there is a really good video on Big Bang Theory. You probably already watched it before, but it's the adorable misogyny of the Big Bang Theory. I remember like really enjoying that video. I should actually just go watch it again at some point.
Wait, which Big Bang Theory? Or who did the video about?
It's by Pop Culture Detective.
Oh, yeah. I actually saw that. It was really good. I like that video too.
Yes. Yeah.
Question by Denise Can. Arse or tits? Britt, I'm going to let you field this one.
Oh, if you're a tits man or an ass
man?
No,
it's a question for you.
Oh, for me?
Mm-hmm.
Like what I prefer or what I have?
What do you prefer?
Well, I guess since I'm with Jack, it's going to have to be ass, because, I mean, if Jack grew some boobs, maybe that opinion will change, but...
You don't have to just answer like that to make me happy. You just tell the truth about how you feel.
I'm probably going to go with ass, either way.
Okay.
I mean, titties are a nice addition, but they're not necessary. I think it's better to have small titties and a big ass than big titties and no ass. And that's my life philosophy.
All bodies are good bodies.
All bodies are good bodies. I'm just talking about what I personally prefer. If Jack came to me and he had big old titties and no ass, I'd still love him just the same.
Everyone's... Okay, chat. Go back to asking questions about stuff, because now we're just getting people saying, thighs, feet, feet. Oh, my mum says that she's fucked, which in the UK means tired. So everyone say at Donna Jack's mum, say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Donna. Because that's my mum. Opinion of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. I need to look into it. I'm afraid I really don't know much about anything to do with that.
Yeah, I think you got asked that question like 500 times.
Yeah,
sorry.
I wanted to acknowledge it because I did see it pop up a few times, but yeah, I don't have an opinion.
I think generally it's kind of like...
Right now, at least.
A lot of people will have an opinion of something without like looking into it.
I'd rather admit when I don't know enough about a topic.
Basically, I'm going to admit my complete and total ignorance on this issue, because I'd rather admit ignorance than kind of like make an opinion based off of not knowing all the details about the situation.
Oh, my mum isn't tired. Well, that's good, folks, so she can...
She's wide awake.
To the chat. Something's problematic. What are your thoughts on Dilbert if you watch the show? I have watched the show. It was during the period I was talking about before, where it was like I was watching a bunch of fairly obscure cartoons that never really pulled huge numbers. That period where I was watching like Mission Hill and The Oblongs and things like that. And I also watched Dilbert. And it was good. I enjoyed it at the time. I would probably want to rewatch it actually. Because now that I know a lot more about Scott Adams' politics. Scott Adams did Dilbert, right? Dilbert. He did Dilbert. Right?
Oh, God.
And he has very controversial opinions.
Dilbert's writer is an asshat. I think he's all like...
Yeah, tell me about
I don't think he outright says he's into the red pill, but I'm pretty sure he reads the red pill.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy. He's like
He's
a
that
is he
kinda
like a
guy.
MGTOW?
The females.
Jesus.
The females are ruining
It's
Western
unfortunate
society.
because the thing was that Dilbert actually did a pretty good job of like criticizing a lot of aspects of corporate culture, and by association criticizing capitalism. As far as I remember, it's just weird that that's the way he went. But then again, I don't know. There's lots of weird folks that just turn out to be a certain way, and it's like John Kay and then was it John Kay who did the Neverhood, or was that a different guy who turned out to be?
John Kay is also kind of a shitty, like, I'm pretty sure John Kay has like molested young girls. If not, he is basically a pedophile. So
I see.
it's not much better.
Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Who did the Neverhood? He also did the show Cat Scratch, and he got outed as being like fairly extreme. Maybe that's John Kay again. I don't know. Britt, what's the red pill?
God, people want to know what the red pill is? Okay. So, you know how, like, some people will get into relationships and there might be a messy breakup, right? Or whatever. So, for these losers on the internet, typically male, although there are red pill women, surprisingly, they will have this, like, they have this community on Reddit where they just talk about how all women are like that, and basically like that means, oh, every single woman ever will ride the cock carousel, which means have sex with a lot of men, and then by the time they're 25, they'll hit the wall, which means is like they're no longer desirable, and then they'll settle for a beta cuck. That's essentially red pill philosophy.
Yeah, it's like a ton of pseudoscience there.
Oh yeah.
Relating to like alpha and beta.
The females participate in hypergamy.
Yeah, that's always makes me sad. I think someone pointed it out on Twitter once, but it's like I feel sad for the researcher who first came up with the alpha beta thing. So the concept that there's alpha wolves and beta wolves, and like the beta wolves will be subservient to the alphas.
Yeah.
But that's really not how most wolf packs, I believe, are structured. So he was just wrong in that regard.
Well, the thing is he was studying kind of the wolves he was studying were more domesticated versus just out in the wild. So of course when you're just a pack of wolves in this like containment, the behavior is going to change.
Yeah, right. So when they were in captivity, they had kind of an alpha beta dynamic, but not like in the wild.
But see, here's the thing: is the whole like thing about alphas and betas just kind of screams like insecurity to me. So if any dude says I'm an alpha male, it's just like I instantly know like okay, okay, buddy.
And yes, as my mum correctly points out, who makes all their phrases? They just fucking constantly putting out new weird words. It's like how a few months ago we all became soy boys because we were leftists, and soy apparently lowered your testosterone, which is why leftists believe what they believe, because they had low testosterone. And then it turned out that science had no relation to reality. And then it was the NPC thing, which was also based on fake science, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, okay, that's also a nice thing you mentioned, Raptor Jesus. The person that did come up with the alpha and beta theory actually released another book trying to correct the incorrect information he put out. And even then, people... I mean, it's basically like a cult, really. And I know, like, anytime I have brought that up, there's, like, some red pill dude who wants to go, actually, it is not a cult. And then, like, have like a giant essay for me that I don't read.
Yeah. Man, Brett.
Why don't trans girls just eat a lot of soy then?
Well,
yeah.
There's that, but also, it's Christmas, Brett, and we have these cookies. You know what you need with cookies at Christmas?
Soy milk!
Let's get a glass of soy milk. Go.
Okay.
Pull out that soy milk.
All right. Well, I'm going to lead the chat for a bit, so y'all have while I'm gone, and I'll get you your soy.
Let's watch me transition before your eyes as I drink a glass of soy milk, or at least use it to dip the cookies in. Is there soy nog? I was wondering about that. Oh, okay. Apparently there is soy nog. I guess we'd have to go to the Walgreens or something to get that. How many of those cookies can you fit in your mouth? Hang on. Like, I'd say probably like 5 a push.
Everybody are silk.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by. I was going to make a joke about it being organic soy, but I think we already drank all of that.
Just do half a glass. Let's not waste all the milk. Look at that. Whoa, God.
ASMR milk pouring.
There you go. God, slow down. What, you want me to just sprout titties right on stream?
Uh-huh.
This is dangerous stuff, folks. If you look at it closely here. If you look closely, actually, you can see the... You can see the...
You can see all the little estrogen molecules.
You're seeing all the estrogen molecules cucking each other. They're just... It's like a recurring cuck right deep in there. If you see over here, there's a few estrogen molecules trying to start a union. But now there's a whole support group here, safe space, criticizing the union for not being intersectional enough. So they're going to just destroy each other. They're going to eat themselves. There's a lot going on with soy milk, which is probably why it's so bad for you. Cuticle oh. No, this is just gonna happen because I bite the shit out of my fingernails.
Titties are gender neutral, but there are female presenting nipples and male presenting nipples.
Yeah, according to Tumblr.
According to Tumblr.
Also, yeah, for the record, anyone can have titties. But I'm just saying that the stereotypical thing is that drinking soy will make that happen for you. Yeah. And yeah, what Britt was talking about there, the female presenting nipples and male presenting nipples, was a Tumblr thing. So basically Tumblr set a new rule where they're like, no more explicit images, which was just a death sentence for their entire company because no one goes to Tumblr anymore for anything other than porn. So they said no explicit stuff, and one of the rules was no female presenting nipples. So... Because I guess they obviously didn't want to say, like, no female nipples, because they do have a large LGBTQ community. So they said female-presenting nipples instead, which really maybe speaks to it being quite arbitrary that we consider man nipples to be, like, fine, but female nipples are automatically explicit objects. They're like they become like primary sex.
Sorry, every time I see the word female, I have to say it all weird.
Mm-hmm.
Female.
I mean, I don't know what their rules are on artistic nudes on Tumblr.
Just not anymore.
Like no statues. You can't have a Greek statue on Tumblr.
I mean, I really don't know. It's just kind of like I know like people have had their stuff flagged that wasn't even any nudity whatsoever. So it's just like okay. Yeah.
They said that, and then a bunch of trans men I follow got their post-op pics flagged. Oh shit! Really? I mean it doesn't surprise me because from what I know, their bot functionality is complete shit. Like I think it was someone put an image of like was it a lady nipple or something like that? It was some explicit thing on Tumblr, and then it got immediately flagged and taken down. And then all they did was they took the image and then they added a little frog to the bottom, and then it wasn't flagged. So now the new thing for Tumblr people to do is to just remove add the frog to the bottom of the picture, and then you'll be okay. It's a sacred frog. I actually need to pee really bad. I'll leave it to Britt for 1 minute to gather up questions and maybe answer some of her own if you have any questions.
Yeah, if you got any.
Yeah. And remember, folks, we got super chats available there. If you want to have a little message pop up to make sure that I'm able to read it because the chat's moving quite fast, go ahead. I think any amount and you'll get a super chat popping up. We can't do super chats in the YouTube thing because it's a thing, it's something. And we also have Patreon if you like the videos, but whatever.
Go pee. Time to take a piss. Did you hear we were able to get around the flagging by tagging it as safe for work? Oh geez. I mean, I don't put that past Tumblr, to be honest. What is Jack's hair treatment plan? Okay, I think I basically have this down. So, Jack really doesn't wash his hair except for maybe like once a week. When it's wet, don't comb it, don't brush it, because that will tear out a lot of the hair. Generally also just let it air dry. He's coming back. Just let it air dry. And that's really all he does with it. Seems to kind of be working out for him. But yes, he does also wash his hair with silk for extra sheen. Protein. What is my hair care routine? I've kind of adopted the same. Just because before I was like washing my hair like every single day, and it was always like dry and stringy and terrible, and so I only really wash it like once a week as well. And then I also use a little coconut oil.
So I'm just trying to keep up or catch up with the chat here. Oh, did I drop my headphones? Sorry if I made a noise. And yeah, I didn't need to pee when the stream started, so your advice, Awesomov, is not appreciated.
Hey, can one or both of you... oh, crap, the thing went up. Where was that question? Okay, I think it was about like a book that we enjoyed or that we've read recently. The last thing I really read was The Bluest Eye. It's a very short read, but it's like very heavy.
Merry or happy Christmas, Jack.
Wait 1 sec.
Basically,
I only
classic.
subbed 2 weeks ago and it's been a joy to watch your channel blow up. Your content is so fresh and I watched some of your old Giant Bomb animations and I love them. Do you still animate?
Oh, thank you so much, Pump Action Musket. That's really appreciated, buddy.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to you, or Happy Hanukkah, or whatever else. As far as your question goes, the Giant Bomb animations, I'm glad you like them. And no, I don't currently still animate. I lost my patience with animation a little while back just because animation is really time consuming. Like, if you saw those Giant Bomb animations, each one of them took me at least a month or so to get done. It's very painstaking, and it's like I have modes in my brain where I'll switch and I just need to refocus on something else because I just find it hard to stay focused on one specific field for too long.
I did appreciate your little animated segment at the beginning of Friends.
Yeah, the Friends video I did a little animation.
I would say to you, my biggest suggestion to you is don't like ever lose that skill. I don't think.
No, I like animating. It's just not my focus right now.
But just like sprinkle little animations in every now and again.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get back to doing animations and hopefully integrating them with my video essays. It's just right now it's not my focus.
I feel really bad because I remember like liking a lot of Ego Raptor's animations and stuff, and even something like when he was doing Sequelitis was pretty nice, but he's just kind of stopped really animating, and that makes.
I mean, for one thing,
sad.
it is a consequence of capital. Animation is not thing like. Hang on a second.
Sorry. Oh, Garrett's here. Hi, Garrett.
Howdy, Garrett.
I remember watching your content. I really liked all of it. I can't think of a specific video off the top of my head. Oh wait, no, the big video with taking down Sargon and Sargon responding that it was too many Sargons to watch. That was the classic.
Yeah. I have heard, I haven't actually read any of Irvine Welsh's stuff. I have seen both the film Frame Spotting and the film Filth, and I like them a lot. I think that, at least picking up from that, then it seems like Irvine Welsh has a lot to say about class dichotomies and hierarchies of power. He's not politically correct, I suppose, but I think it seems like his heart's generally in the right place with that stuff. I would like to read his books at some point, though. Certainly. I just have such a backlog of books I want to read.
You've been flagged for female presenting chocolate chips.
Oh, no. Little did I know. Also, I saw Freya Animate's Quit Your Animation course yesterday, 3 years into uni. I'd say, like, if you feel like that was the right thing for you, then, like, best of luck to you. I think you made the right choice. If that's how you feel about it, like,
Yeah.
don't feel like ashamed in any way that you.
Yeah. I think just the only unfortunate thing would be is quitting college because of financial reasons.
Yeah, that's always a
That's-
bummer when you know that you want to finish it and you're not able to for financial reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to do that, then.
I just also wanted to answer like another question from Caitlin McCain was asking.
Wait.
Huh?
Hang on a second. No, you go on, because Jamie
Okay.
J has a problem with the super chat thing.
Okay.
I'm looking into that, Jamie J.
So Caitlin McCain had asked if I had any plans to be involved in the videos as a co-narrator or anything. Not really right now. I just kind of help Jack out. I'm the person that, holds the camera when it's the live segments and it's always shaky. Or I was in the White Queen and the Alice in Wonderland video, but I would like to get into making my own YouTube videos. But just right now it's been like way too hectic with college, which I officially just ended my semester yesterday. But yeah. And when I have a lot of free time, I would definitely like to have more of an active role. I would also just like to learn how to edit videos in general so I can help Jack out more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that for our animates. Sorry, Jamie J. I'll keep looking and it's just not popping up as if you didn't do it, as if your super chat didn't go through. Make sure that it did get confirmed and like actually sent. I'll keep looking into it. If there's any questions in chat, you can just ask me, Britt, why I'm looking into this, because I don't want Jamie J to like have donated and it not pop up for some reason. Maybe it got caught in spam or something.
Are both of yous in uni? Jack had graduated.
I'm a
from
graduate.
uni.
Yeah, I got a bachelor's in English language and literature, and then I got a master's degree in English literature. So I'm finished now.
And me, meanwhile, over here, I just started college when I turned. Did I start when I was 25 or 26? One of those years. I'm already getting at the point where I forget. But I am doing early childhood education. Yes, right now I'm getting my associates. I'm still undecided if I want to go on to get a bachelor's or just in there, but I definitely want some kind of degree of higher education. That's one of my personal goals.
Yeah. I'll just say that Jamie J, I'll keep looking into it, but it doesn't seem like it's going to pop up. So if you could just maybe post in chat the amount and the question, then I will be happy to answer you. I would agree, Garrett. I think leftist infighting can be pretty unhealthy for the discourse, especially because it's one of those things where I think when you get down to it, 90% of leftists on spaces like Twitter generally agree with each other on most things. It's just there's these little nuances that people get stuck in, and I like to avoid it as much as I can. Which also doesn't mean I think that we can't criticize each other. I just think that a lot of the times on YouTube, these like critiques of one another can evolve into something a little bit more mean-spirited, I did a response to Patrick Willems' plot hole video. Like, Patrick Willems isn't like a full-on political YouTuber really, but like he's a more on our side of the fence type of guy, and he did a video about plot holes, and I found there to be a few little holes in it myself, ironically enough. And I did a response video to that, but I was trying to be nice about it. You know. So you can do these things, but it's a
I think it's
tricky
like
thing.
Didn't one of his video editors comment on it too?
What?
Did one of his video editors comment on it as well?
What for?
The plot holes vid.
Yeah. Sappho of Lesbos or something like that.
Yeah.
She was nice. Yeah, she said she'd pass it along to Patrick, but he never responded to it. But I don't know. He got so many bullshit responses to that video. That,
well, I think that's also an interesting thing. At least it feels like to me. And maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I obviously have a huge bias. It seems like the people that are more on the lefty side of things, if they make a response video to somebody, it's more of just like, it's focused on just correcting the person, where it seems like a lot of these quote-unquote anti-SJW videos are all about, I gotta destroy my opponent, basically. I could be wrong, because obviously I don't really watch a lot of anti-SJW videos, because I don't want to see an avatar talking to me for 30 minutes. That's about it.
So just real quick, Max Simulsion Gale, I don't know like the nuances of everything, because you're throwing a lot of topics at me. So if you could maybe give me some context, if you want me to have an opinion on something, or if you would like to know my opinion on something, generally what folks are doing here, it would be appreciated. Is that the industry in Wellington was on the brink of completely disintegrating, and the Hobbit film saved it. See, here's the thing. I wanted to watch Lindsay Ellis's videos on the Hobbit series, but you guys aren't going to like this. Or maybe some of you aren't going to like this. I've been watching the Lord of the Rings movies. I put them off for a long, long time. And me and Britt started watching them. We watched the first two. They're not really grabbing me. And I don't want to watch the Hobbit movies until I've watched the Lord of the Rings movies. For some reason. I just set that as a thing for myself. Eventually I'll make it through the third one. I have heard that's the best one, so I'll check it out then. And then I'll move on to the Hobbit, and then I can watch Lindsay Ellis's videos, so I can have an opinion on Lindsay Ellis's videos on the subject. Something about shoulders? What's this? Alright, okay. Grave Sensei probably says something. I need 4 to 6 hour streams to destroy someone. Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking god awful format for what they choose to do. Because whatever, I'm not going to talk about them on the stream. They don't deserve the time. The Hobbit films are important for saving the industry and allowing workers to feed their kids for 4 years, but they are bad movies for sure. Right? Okay. I think I'm more of a Star Wars person. Oh hey, Jamie J, your donation just came through. Didn't get read out for some reason, but 420, very good. Blaze it, friend. What are your thoughts on intellectual property rights? Generally, I'm against them. I think that Eric Taxon, who did a fantastic couple of videos on this subject, might be working on another one. Not sure. But he had a lot of very interesting things to say about IP rights and the notion of copyright as this sort of capitalist mechanism that is unhealthy for creators, I think, in a lot of ways, because it's like owning the notion of owning an idea, which is what most pieces of art really are just ideas. I think is, I mean, I get the argument that the creator needs to be protected in some way, especially under capitalism, where your income is reliant on that. But in my idealistic way, I would be not too into it. I think it goes against a lot of socialist principles when it comes to art. Like I say, Eric Taxon's stuff. He does 2 videos on the subject. The Golden Calf, I think they're called.
I feel
they get into
like
it pretty well.
the notion of copyright at the surface doesn't really bother me. Like, it's essentially like if I draw a picture, it's copyrighted to me. Basically, it's just a law that says if I make a thing, I own it. And then I can choose how to distribute it, anything I want. But it seems like kind of how capitalism is structured is those kind of laws directly benefit companies, and then small time creators don't have the same power. So essentially, that's kind of what I'm against.
And you also have to consider the fact that, because some people talk about the practicality of protecting smaller creators, for the most part, you have to acknowledge that copyright law doesn't really, because big companies can always muscle their way into an idea. There's myriad stories of people like pitching something to a studio and then the studio just being like, okay, let's just make these little changes to it and then pretend it's an original thing and then getting away with it. And by contrast, usually the smaller creators are reliant on the bigger creators funding them, and a lot of that funding comes with the caveat of ownership of copyrights.
Or you have people that work in these studios and game development teams and things like that, and then the second, the game is going to be released, they just lay them all off. So it's kind of like their work isn't really protected or valued at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is even if you get that deal with the studio, and now the studio owns the rights to this thing, so as a creator, you're now beholden to this larger corporation, right? So in a way, it's not it's not like, well, practically it's protecting smaller creators. It doesn't really, or it does, but there's a lot of aspects to it that are as bad as it is good. I feel like I'm doing that weird voice thing too much. Whatever. One of my co-workers has our boss as a landlord. How many layers of oppression is that? That's a toughie. Hopefully you get along with them. Yeah, intellectual property is just an ownership means of production. It can never be anything but capital driven. I would broadly agree with that, yeah. It just doesn't really make sense. From a socialist perspective too much. Sorry, by the way, if I'm getting a bit distracted with the chat stuff. Again, I'm trying to wrap my head around the amount of people that are typing stuff. Chat's moving very fast.
101 people.
101
Dalmatians.
Libcucks.
Verizon scares me. Is there something exceptionally terrible that Verizon has done lately? Because I do have phone service through them. So.
Wait, what school? Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I don't know what I was going to say.
Someone was saying Disney had a school that they set up. It was like super lefty. I'm curious to know more about that. I don't know anything about that. Is that like a thing that is there a video on that subject?
They use prison labor in their workforce. Oh God. That's a whole nother.
Verizon seems like one of those companies that only does well as a result of the fact that they have so many basically like technical monopolies on areas. Like everyone fucking hates using Verizon. I don't think many people even want to use Verizon as a service. It's just your only option most of the time.
Thoughts on getting into more gaming content? Leftist gaming content is how my friends got out of the red pill rabbit hole.
I'd be very up for doing more lefty gaming content. If you want that for right now, Curio does a lot of good videos on the subject. But on my end, my issue is mostly that I haven't been playing as many video games lately. And usually the way I start to make videos is that I'll be inspired by a piece of media that I watched or read or played. if there is something that grabs me and I thought I'm making a video on it, like I'm gonna be getting a Spider-Man. I don't know if Spider-Man would have a political angle worth discussing, but actually no. I think Curio is doing a video on that, so see what he has to say about it.
One thing I've been interested in, and please don't spoil anything because I have yet to finish the game. But I was playing through Papa EO, because I was like very interested to make a follow-up to Jack's first vid, which was the Captain Spirit vid. Because I know like a lot of, well, it wasn't really a lot, actually that comment section was pretty civil, but there was criticism about people who have been in that situation kind of connecting with Captain Spirit a lot. So I guess I'd want to show a video game that I think kind of does the whole like messages of domestic violence a little better, and make a vid about that. Eventually, I have no script or anything in mind. I still actually just need to finish the game
I
first.
think that would be neat. We can maybe play some Puppy Yo after this if you want.
Yeah,
because
that could be an idea.
someone mentioned gaming streams. We actually have, again, twitch.tv/laxsane. That's where I'm going to be doing like regular old gaming streams. Like when I'm just playing something, I might throw it on and just start streaming it. I didn't want to do it on the YouTube channel because I didn't want to spam this channel with constant streams of stuff, especially stuff not really related to what you came here for. So I'm doing these big streams, like Q&A stuff, to celebrate when we hit milestones. We're probably going to slow down on that now because we've hit 30k and we haven't gone to 50k yet. I was hoping we'd make it to 50k by now, but I guess we just slowed down. Frankly, I'm astonished that we've hit 30k, but and it is still going up. Like even in the last few minutes, we've gained a few more subscribers, and that's cool. Hopefully, my next video catches the attention of people that are a bit less politically inclined. I'm doing a video that definitely has a lot of political things to it, but it's not so overtly leftist as like a lot of my videos are so much. Like if you're not into politics, it might still appeal to you. So hopefully I can wrangle some people up through that and expand my audience somewhat. Yes, I'm entitled to 50k subs because my content is worth 100k. Well, yeah, we'll see how things are by January. And when I say that we're going to wrap up streams, I guess I would also add the caveat that like we're probably going to be away for Christmas pretty soon, so I'm not going to be here for the next couple of weekends probably. So this will be our last one for a little while. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the streams each week. I do like hanging out with you guys a lot, and I like seeing all these familiar faces like show up each time. My mum says so entitled, and then Marie last name says spoken like a real mum.
No drunk Christmas stream?
Probably
no,
not.
Probably not. I mean, we'll probably be drunk on Christmas, but I don't think we'll have a stream.
I mean, I tell you what, watch the keep an eye on the Twitch because we are going to bring Brit's laptop with us down south. So theoretically, we could do like just like an IRL Twitch stream with Brit's family, where we're all incredibly drunk. I drink the thing is, I'm down south on Christmas, so you know I'm drinking moonshine. I drink because Brit's sister's boyfriend brews and your dad too brews their own moonshine. That's how you know it's Mississippi. It's good stuff because it's like honey moonshine that actually makes it somewhat bearable to drink. But then we run out of that jar and then we just start drinking the pure moonshine that just tastes like shoe polish.
I do have to say, because I'm really excited, because Brett asked when we stream with Donna, we'd love to do a stream with Jack's mom where we get her hooked up, and then she'll watch some reaction videos for the Lacking Saint channel.
Yeah, we'll get her watching. What I want to do,
with her permission, of course.
I want to build like a playlist full of like weird memes that my mum will very unlikely to understand. and just stuff that will confuse her. And get her really drunk and then get her on stream and have her watch all those videos. So if you guys wanted to send me any videos that you think my mom would enjoy, please do so. Also, someone said eggnog mixed with Baileys. That's a fucking top tier drink. Very good. Eggnog, very good. Baileys, very good. So that's good. We do need to buy some Baileys though. All we've got now is soy. I don't think soy milk tastes very good on its own.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's good. It's like
It's good to like add to a coffee or something.
yeah,
'cause you
really
don't
good
tell
in
the difference.
coffee, or you can like pretty much use it in place of milk for like any kind of recipe. It's all good.
Yeah. The left
You just
definitely has the
open
best
floodgate,
lighting.
Jack.
What's that?
You just opened the floodgate, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, okay, in fairness, after I said, like, like, viewers remind me on social media to watch Sailor Moon, since then I haven't received too many people spamming it at me, so it's not too bad. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. What in your opinion, are the most problematic recent popular games / shows / movies? I mean, I really had a distaste for how Red Dead Redemption 2 handled the suffragette movement. Like I get that they have this South Parky thing where they're desperate to portray both sides, like all sides, as equally ridiculous. But I think both sides to the suffragette movement essentially in a way that was just puzzling. People are free to watch those videos, but it's basically the screaming feminazi stereotype, but reduced down to, again, suffragettes, like people that just wanted basic voting rights and things like that. And it's very strange stuff. I've heard that Red Dead Redemption 2 is good for the most part other than that, but I don't know, maybe I'll get around to it at some point and have some broader thoughts. As far as other stuff, problematic materials, I didn't like The Incredibles 2's relationship to politics. It basically seemed like, it seemed like a straw man for being anti-gun control, where the superheroes were guns. I would probably do a video on that subject at some point. There's a lot to that too. I'm not sure if anyone else picked up that vibe from The Incredibles 2.
Fucking soy boy cuck, leftist YouTubers, just where's a gun in the entire movie, okay?
Yeah.
You're just injecting your politics into this fucking children's movie. Fuck you, lactating soy.
Yeah. I mean, I'll add the clarification that when I talk about things being like problematic, I don't actually, generally care that much in terms of on a personal level. It's not like I'm personally disgusted by a lot of these materials. It's just I observe things about it that I think are a little bit negative or that I don't think are good for the discourse or wherever else. Art doesn't need to be that. I can still like art that has these problems, but I can acknowledge that they exist, right? But then whenever you talk to people about that kind of thing, it all gets reduced down to you got triggered or something like that. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. I know there are guns in Incredibles 2, but they also use superheroes as like analogous to guns.
I think that was a response to my
Oh,
comment.
okay, sorry.
But it's actually kind of funny is you would get similar comments like that on your Sky High video, where it's just they miss the obvious like thing that was pointed out, and then they act like they came with like some giant revelation.
How do you reply to people? Oh, you have to hit Mom, press the @ symbol, and then start typing the name of the person you want to respond to. And then that way you can. Yeah, there you go. Everyone help my mom. Have you actually seen Sky High, Mom?
No, she doesn't mean I love Sky High. She means I love Sky High.
Hell yeah, bro. 420. Hang on. What? Oh, I tried to have Jamie J's message repeat and it didn't, so that 420 would pop up on screen. Oh well. Yeah, I mean that's my conclusion of Sky High was that as a film, I find it very enjoyable. I compare a lot of stuff to this in terms of camp, but I like it in the same way I like Space Jam and Kangaroo Jack, which are both things I really want to make videos about, but I'll get around to it. Because you know that Space Jam has an interesting relationship to Capital. Very worth a closer analysis.
Hi, Steve. Steve's in the chat.
Oh, hi,
now.
Steve.
Hi, Steve.
That's it. Donna Jack's mum is the mum of the left. I had to get these leftist politics indoctrinated into me somehow. People did mention Fallout 76's relationship to politics. I would like to play 76 and give thoughts myself. It seems like the general sense, at least from I got from Fallout 4 too. Bethesda, actually not so much of Fallout 4, but definitely Fallout 76. It seems like there's a push on Bethesda's end to try to depoliticize Fallout in a way that makes it less interesting to me. I mean, it's kind of consequential of the fact that they're just removing story in general and turning it into a shooty bang bang thing. But if you go through the first few Fallout games, then especially something like New Vegas, there's so much political conversation you could get out of that game. And it feels like 76 is still just reduced down to like, just go around with your mates and blow things up and shoot giant sloths. Jordan Peterson did a video about Baby It's Cold Outside. What? Or someone else? Sorry, keep adjusting in the seat. Oh, I just
want to play Fallout 76 just for the pure chuckles I could get from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to play Fallout 76.
I do really like glitchy games, but I don't like glitchy games to where like I can't play them. But I like making games break all the time.
Yes, Pump Action Musket. I'm so fucking excited for the Outer Worlds. The way they threw shade on Bethesda with like they're from the original creators of Fallout and the developers of Fallout New Vegas. It's that I can't wait for that. I'm definitely dangerously over the point of overhyped. Like I know all we've seen is the most basic stuff about it, but I'm still pumped for that game. Do I watch any Your Movie Sucks reviews? He recommends great political movies, but I think his personal views on politics and media are a bit misguided, for lack of a better word.
Can I be your mom? Well, Marie last name asked if I could be your mom. Her? Sorry, I don't want to assume, but yes.
Brit is your mum now, Marie. As far as Your Movie Sucks goes, I have watched quite a bit of his content. I think, to be a bit reductionist, I'd say that generally Your Movie Sucks has pretty good opinions about movies, but not really that good opinions about politics. I would need to go into it a little bit deeper, but basically the sense I get from Your Movie Sucks is that he's very... he hasn't thought too deeply about his politics. I don't know. I need to look at his more recent content too, because I stopped about a year ago because I kind of got sick of cynical movie review type peeps. I still occasionally watch I Hate Everything stuff, which is actually interesting because I Hate Everything has become less cynical, I think, with some of his reviews. I can remember he did his Last Jedi review. It was actually pretty positive. And then I've watched Ralph the Movie Maker a little bit, and I have mixed feelings. But I think he can be entertaining. Who has narcissistic personality disorder? I'd need more context for that. Cinema Wins. I've heard Cinema Sins is good. Cinema Wins is good, not Cinema Sins. Cinema Wins is Cinema Wins also Cinema Sins, or is that a different channel? Because Cinema Sins is also good, where they go through the Cinema Sins videos and point out all the things wrong with them. Because Cinema Sins has the most atrocious scripting process, where they literally watch a movie for the first time, and then point out plot holes, even if those plot holes are later explained by events in the film. Sean, for a while, was mostly producing videos related to that, and that was a lot of fun. Stalker is a good series. Stalker Call of Pripyat is genuinely one of my favorite games. Shadow of Chernobyl, something about it felt clunky to me, or maybe it was too linear. For anyone who doesn't know, the Stalker games are kind of Fallout-ish, but a little bit more grounded and real, I guess. You have to consider things like, I think, water and food, right? And it's like ammo has a weight and things like that. It's kind of like what was introduced with hardcore mode in New Vegas, but more so. Things degrade fairly quickly. Fast travel isn't so much a thing, and stuff like that. I enjoy it a lot. I actually might stream some Call of Pripyat at some point, because I think not a lot of people have seen that game, and it's worth looking at. I like the openness of Pripyat a lot. Metro series, so this is interesting. I am a huge fan of like atmospheric, story-focused, first-person shooter games. But something about the Metro series has always felt really awkward and clunky to me, and like I've never enjoyed the combat for some reason. From the first game, I forget the name of it, and Where Do You Think You're Going? Okay. Okay, see you in a sec. Metro, whatever it is, and Last Light. I like Last Light a little bit better, but I feel like also this is massive sausage fest kind of bugs me. But like in the narrative, there's just a bunch of dudes that are all kind of like middle-aged dudes, and that's it. Just a little pet peeve. But Last Light's a little bit better, but something about those games always felt kind of clunky and awkward to me. But they're beautiful games and everything. Does anyone remember that level in Metro where you just start opening a bunch of doors? It's like a library level, and it's like you haven't opened any doors all game, and there's just this one level. There's like 15 doors you have to go through, and it's like it's as if it's a new mechanic. Never mind. Ignore me. Oh, sorry, Marie. I meant that Brit was your mum now, because Brit was your mum now. I meant to say, like, I wanted to say where was your mum, or wherever it was, because you requested that of Brit. As far as I know, anyway. Do a video on It's Always Sunny. Possibly. I feel like I've trodden most of the ground I'd probably want from It's Always Sunny, from talking about during the Friends video, but maybe in the future. It's kind of like what's that? Like New Vegas, I would like to do a video about in the future, but I talk a little bit about New Vegas in my Fallout 3 video. So there's a lot of different. It's kind of like I need to have something substantial to say that's new compared to what I've already said, because I don't want to be repeating myself too much in my videos.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the challenges also. I haven't like yet to really create any videos, but I guess I kind of like, I want to talk about this thing, and then, you know, it's already been extensively talked about, so it's just, I literally would have nothing new to say about it.
Gotcha. Also, I saw Garrett there say there's a lot of good videos on It's Always Sunny already. If you have any recommendations, feel free to post it in the chat. I know a lot of leftists really love It's Always Sunny, so I wouldn't be surprised that there's a lot of videos on the subject. It's Always Sunny is always an interesting one. I think it was brought up, maybe Peter Coffin brought up, I'm not sure. Anyway, someone brought up that It's Always Sunny is a great thing to point to whenever the right insists that the left is too politically correct and hates anything offensive. Because It's Always Sunny is very offensive a lot of the time, and yet most leftists generally seem to love it. So, you know. Which is not to say that It's Always Sunny is a golden cow, is a perfect object that can't be criticized. But it seems like generally the left is quite into it, even though it's politically incorrect. It's satire and social criticism done right, as Justin McGaffin says. Yeah, I mean, It's Always Sunny isn't my absolute favourite show. Among comedies, what would I say? Probably Brass Eye would be my favourite comedy.
Oh, I love Brass Eye.
Brass Eye is really good. I recommend everyone watch Brass Eye. Maybe I should do a video about Brass Eye.
Yes.
I'll think about it.
Or, I mean, you are working on a certain video, so Brass Eye could easily fit into that.
Yeah, possibly actually. I'll see about mentioning it, or at least including it as a clip in the thing. Film Radar has a video essay on It's Always Sunny. Okay. Wisecrack. I've heard mixed things about Wisecrack. I don't know. I'll look into it. The prequels work better as a trilogy than the original. I'm assuming you're talking about Star Wars because the prequels, where the Return of the Jedi is basically a copy of A New Hope. I don't know. I think there's some differences there. I mean, I can kind of see what you're saying. I actually like Return of the Jedi quite a bit. I would say it challenges Empire, but of course, The Last Jedi is the best one. It's fine, Marie. It's fine, Marie.
It's all good.
Indeed. I like the part in Star Wars where he kisses his sister and then isn't weird about it. As I said, I think I said this on stream, wasn't it, with friends? When you don't talk about politics enough, the story just becomes about incest. It's this weird thing. I mean, would you consider the original Star Wars trilogy like apolitical in its aims? But I mean, probably not. Actually, thinking about it, there's a lot of people could say this very overtly political in Star Wars, but who knows? Who knows? Someone who knows more about Star Wars than me. There's a mod now that restores KOTOR 2's content. I've always been wanting to play the Knights of the Old Republic games because I'm a massive Mass Effect fan. I love the hell out of Mass Effect. I actually might do a video about Mass Effect at some point, but we'll see how it goes. Tali for life, everybody. But I would like to play the KOTOR games because I know that they're kind of the progenitors, or like the preceding. Mass Effect's the spiritual successor to KOTOR, so it would be interesting checking it out. I got into an argument with someone who tried to say the original Star Wars wasn't political. Yeah, I mean, what would be your main points when you talk about the political nature of Star Wars outside of the newer movies, which I think are more overtly political? Could be wrong though. Could be wrong. I haven't thought about it too much. I mean, I will say Unnamed Muffin is that genuinely I think episode 1 and 2 have substantial tonal flaws. But yeah, I think the people jumping on it too much, the prequels, as if they're an absolute abomination. I don't know. I think that it's a little bit overdone, right? I mean, it couldn't not be overdone with the sheer level of fervor in that fan base. They just won't stop. They won't stop coming. And they won't stop coming. How you doing in terms of food? How hungry are you?
Well, I did have something in the freezer for us, but
you mean like ice cream?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I don't know about eating ice cream right now. But also, I'm
You
kind of
don't want a
tempting
pie,
fate already
right?
because I'm wearing a white shirt. I decided to put in some extra effort for you guys and wear a nice white t-shirt. But now I'm scared of
Spill
getting
ice
anything.
cream
Yeah, I'm
all
scared
over
of getting what chocolate volcano or whatever you got.
I got you peanut butter corn.
You got meat. Wait, did you get 2 tubs?
Maybe.
Let me
I
see that
figured-
receipt.
No, I'm not showing you the receipt, but I figured it's okay since this is a special stream.
Britt
We need
wanted to-
special ice cream.
Well, you know, chat's paid for it, I guess. But the point is I went. Britt wanted to go to the store and get some little snack things. That's where we got those cookies from. And I said to her, "That's fine. Go grab some snack things. Just please don't spend like $20 on crap." And now I'm skeptical that you spent less than $20 on crap.
It was less than $20. No, normally we buy the you know, like those things of ice cream in like the huge tubs that your mom will buy for your birthday party, which is just like Neapolitan ice cream.
yeah, Neapolitan
That's
ice cream.
typically the ice cream we have. So
Yeah, I mean,
every now and then
it's good value because you just buy a big tub for like $5, and
you could
it's
say
like buying
Jack,
3 tubs for $1.75 each.
you could say it's great value.
What? Oh, is that what it's called?
You're not gonna get that joke.
No, I won't. Get hyped, guys. We're gonna get a car soon, and then we can drive to Walmart for our shopping. What should we get from the Walmart once we get our car, guys? We'll save money, and we'll have a bigger selection than ever. Although, wait, is Walmart cheaper?
It would be a lot cheaper than
Dave's.
yeah.
Okay. Lots of eggs.
Although
We do usually have at least a few eggs in the fridge. This is one of the few things keeping us from going full vegan. We have a lot of eggs and we have a lot of cheese. For the most part, other than that, we'll maybe have some shrimp sometimes. But other than that, we're pretty much vegan. Other than all the things that make us not vegan. How long has it been since we ate like red meats? 2 years?
yeah, I mean there was that one time where we ordered the Indian and I accidentally ate chicken and I had not realized it was chicken because I forgot what chicken tasted
Fake vegan,
like.
guys. Fake vegan.
I'm not even a vegan.
Fake pescatarian. She ate some chicken, guys.
I ate like a bite of it and I was like, is this tofu?
Brittany's cancelled.
Because I ordered chickpea korma and then it ended up being chicken korma and I was upset.
Yeah, my mum got me started off on vegetarianism, or at least like she helped show me that it's really not that difficult to go mostly meat free. Although she still eats fish, so I don't know why she's saying she hasn't eaten meat in 5 years. But it's a common thing. Yeah, I pointed that out, Mum. It's a common thing in the UK, weirdly enough, for people to refer to themselves as vegetarian even when they eat fish. I guess it's because, people are more likely to know what you mean roughly when you say, like, I'm a vegetarian but I also eat fish, rather than saying I'm a pescatarian.
Oh my gosh, I've had to... So, it was like 2 years ago, I went down to see my grandma, and my poor grandma just couldn't understand, like, what a pescatarian was. And I even tried to explain it to her, like, it's just like, okay, you take a vegetarian, but then you add fish, or like seafood, right? But she just couldn't understand it, and she kept offering me, like, she offered me a ham sandwich, and I just had to look at her. She means well, though. I love my grandma.
Yeah. And your grandma loves you, but not certain groups of people.
Oof. Oof. Oof.
Listen, things are different in Mississippi. I mean, alright. Mum, fish is a kind of meat. I get what you mean, but you can't say you don't eat meat because fish is a kind of meat. Excluding fish, you eat meat. Oh, Rose Juliet said that your accent's really nice, bro.
Oh, thank you. I typically get made fun of for it. Somebody over here, likes to mock me.
Who's been making fun of your voice?
Ugh.
What's he talking about?
Don't be imitating me.
Quit being ugly. I have to figure this out for a new character. Yeah. Britt, you're welcome to cancel me if you want.
I'll cancel you.
For my behaviour towards you. I have nothing against people from the South, for the record. I should probably move this chat. Can't be asked. Hang on a second. Shall I?
Yeah, just cover me more. It's all good.
No, because I can. If I move it like here. Does that work? Look at that. Live. That's better, isn't it? Yeah, because now I can kind of be over here and the chat can be over there, and I can go, let's take a look at the chat. Oh. Why would you say that? Oh, see you later, CJ Andrew. Have a good day, friend.
Have a good day. More green letters against the green background border.
I think someone
Good
asked a little
job.
while ago, as far as response videos to me, I still only have that one that I played at the start of the stream, which I hope people got a lot of enjoyment out of. That guy had some interesting things to say. Is my voice kind of monotone? I need to know, folks, because I thought my range was even more than his voice in his response video. But if there's something you'd like me to change about my narration, let me know.
I will say definitely, like, if you compare your first video to your most recent video, you have, I feel like, loosened up a little bit.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't mind your voice at all, because I had to listen to it all day.
I don't want to name them Pump Action Musket because I don't want to have any kind of accusation of raiding at all. That's also why I played the thing at the start without visuals, because I didn't want people to find the video. They'll find it around, like, you can look, if you search for it, you'll find it, but I didn't want to, like, post links or say explicitly what it was.
Yeah, just as a
thing. He's a much smaller channel than me.
No witch hunts, please.
No witch hunts.
Yeah.
You can give constructive feedback if you like, but what was his other criticisms? I talk about the past.
Your voice is monotone.
It's hard to talk. It's hard to criticize things that haven't happened yet.
Your mom says you have the perfect voice.
Well, if my mom thinks so.
It has to be true. Your mom is awesome.
I'm like Prince. Do I sound like a Prince? Like the singer Prince?
Oh, baby angel. Oh.
What does Prince sound like? Matt Berry? Oh God. Hello there. No, I can't really do Matt Berry very well. He has the best voice. I love Matt Berry's voice. If anyone could have replaced Chris Morris on what's the IT Crowd, I think Matt Berry, was it Matt Berry that replaced him? He was pretty good. Although nothing will replace Chris Morris. But if I bring up the IT Crowd, I have to start talking about Graham Lynham, which, do we want to talk about Graham Lynham? That Graham Lynham guy.
Here's a question for you. Which kind of British accent is yours, Jack?
What kind of British accent's mine? It's an Essex accent. It's like a little bit more mild. I'm not sure exactly. Probably because I spent some time in and around London, and then I've been in the US for a little while. But my voice is a bit less Essexy than a lot of Essex folks. But yeah, it's basically an Essex accent. Specifically, the like Romford area. If anyone knows Essex. Yeah, Graham Lynham is a turf. I know that's a slur, but that's what he is.
Oh, Jamie J, don't ask Jack to do his American impersonation. He thinks he sounds American, but he doesn't.
I actually have a pretty convincing American accent. I mean, what if I told you guys that this was actually my regular voice, and I've been putting on an English accent this whole time? I think that it's pretty convincing, if I say so myself. I can only speak for myself, but as a gamer, this voice feels comfortable. It's kind of like, what is it, Michael Fassbender, or whatever it, Matthew Fassbender? Fassbender as Steve Jobs. That's the closest accent I have. Wait, how does it sound fake?
I told you.
Everyone in chat who just said that my American accent sounds fake, give me a specific reason, or you're banned.
Don't banimate them.
My R's gave it away. Jeez.
Okay. Here, try this.
I guess I sounded like a real twat.
Say a sentence, okay? In just your normal voice.
Say a sentence in my normal
Yeah, and
voice.
then I'll repeat it, and you can try and tell the difference.
I'm Brittany, and I'm very stinky.
I'm Brittany, and I'm very stinky.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That sounds exactly like the way I said it.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, like it sounds like a sorry to bother you voice. Oh yeah, I could hear that. Yeah, I'm doing the white voice from Sorry to Bother You. Okay, in fairness, that's probably because I get my American accent. If it was influenced by anything, it's probably influenced by characters in media that I've watched. And as I talked about in my Eddie Brock video, most of those voices are very much like generic white American male hero, middle class voice type guy, like Spider-Man being like, "I gotta go talk to Mary Jane." It's like that. It's me, Superman. It's me, Batman. They all sound exactly the same. They all sound exactly like that. And then you get that, what is it, the fake British, but actually American accent, like, "Look, get out of here." Oh no, is it like Crom? I'm trying to think of it, but it's like the Lutece twins in Bioshock Infinite. I think they're supposed to have kind of like a British type accent. Maybe it's like an old American accent, but now that I think about it, but their accent doesn't sound in any way British. It's like I can't even process it as British. Well, I would do Sonic, but I don't know what Sonic's voice is going to be in the new movie. See? Have you guys seen the poster? Hang on, let me show this. I'm sure most of you have, but I feel the need to show it anyway. Because it's just the worst. Look. Have a look at this, lads.
Jamie J asks, "I want to hear your best Tracer, Jack."
No, I'm never doing Tracer. Look at this. Look at that. Look at those feet. Jesus. I can't personally handle it. See, here's the thing, right? There's a lot of good...
I figured out what bothered me about it. Here's what bothers me about this image. Sonic is not wearing any socks. Where's like his big poofy socks? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Or
do,
his big
actually.
poofy gloves.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like this Sonic design. I figured it out.
You really think it'd be better if
Sorry.
he had socks on? Like photorealistic socks? Like tube socks?
Well, not like photorealistic. Just like,
I mean, those are photorealistic shoes. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess, but like, just seeing like people wearing shoes with no socks makes me very uncomfortable.
Ah, Zia pointed out he has fur. Why would he need socks?
Because socks protect your feet from getting all the bacteria in your shoes. Because it's stinky.
In fairness, why would Sonic need shoes?
Makes you think.
Yeah. Does Sonic sweat like a human? Or does he pant?
Well,
mean, I
do
assume
hedgehogs pant?
Hedgehogs, I believe, pant. I don't think they have sweat glands. I might be wrong on that. But I should probably just get this off the screen.
I mean, I guess if an actual hedgehog was to, like, increase their heart rate in any way, they would just die because their life expectancy is shit anyways.
Yeah. It's not the greatest. Not the best. He needs rings, not socks. How about that? Actually, I think he did have a ring on his shoelace for some reason. Yes, actually, my mum yeah. So my mum made a good point there. His shoes look like regular shoes, and now they can sell those shoes. I think that might be why they did it. It's because if it was just cartoon shoes, no one would.
Well, like at least make the shoes look like the
be a toy.
actual Sonic shoes.
No.
Why
You obviously
can't it
can't
be-
have the actual Sonic shoes as an actual fashion accessory, but the shoes that he has in the movie are just like real enough that you could theoretically have it as an actual fashion accessory. So I think they're gonna massively overcharge for. I think they're going to massively overcharge for some Sonic merchandise shoes to tie in with the movie. Especially with little kids that are like big fans of Sonic, they're going to want those shoes, and then they can charge like $300.
Well, the movie actually has to be good.
No, it doesn't. Have you seen? We see the fucking Emoji Movie. We watched that movie.
I love the Emoji Movie.
Did we see that movie twice?
Yes, because I think we watched it with Tegan.
No, we didn't.
No, actually, we watched Captain Underpants.
We were saved by the bell, as it were, because we were at.
Yeah.
If anyone's familiar with Lakeside, in the Essex area, we had a showing of Emoji Movie that we were going to try and head to around somewhere in the summertime. So somewhere just after Emoji Movie had come out, and the movie. The cinema was just packed, so we ended up not being able to get a ticket. The only film we could get a ticket for was the Captain Underpants movie, which is a much better movie than the Emoji Movie. And then we just watched the Emoji Movie, me and Brett, another time.
No, I think that was the other. Was that the other way around?
What?
Where I thought we had already seen the Emoji Movie.
Maybe I don't know at this point. The point is we did see the
unfortunately
Emoji
watched
Movie
the
only the
movie.
once, and we saw Captain Underpants, which is actually genuinely a
Pixels
really
is
good
way
movie.
worse than the Emoji Movie. I do agree with Garrett there.
Pixels?
But they're both terrible. You remember Pixels? The Adam Sandler movie.
No, I know the movie, but I'm just trying to think of which I find to be worse. Because they're both
They made fun of your people in that movie.
Pixels.
Yeah.
When did they make fun of the Brits? I think maybe I just don't dislike Pixels as much because I don't remember as much about it.
They went to... I thought they went to England at one point, and then there was like a lady there who was clearly not British, but was like saying, "Oh, we're gonna have a jolly good time." Oh.
Also,
Something
big
like
note,
that.
you guys. Did any of you catch? Is it here? Did any of you guys catch this in the Emoji Movie? Not many people seem to have noticed this, but listen close.
Hi, it's so great to see you again. Do I know you? It's Sam. Just sign here and I can get you special discounts on vitamins and credit card offers that can save you up to 25%.
25%?
Oh god.
Back off,
Now, what did you guys hear there? Tell me, honestly. Because he says that line, multiple lines in the movie, he says that word like 4 times in the movie, and it sounds exactly like fuck off. Just in the middle of nowhere in the Emoji Movie. I'll also say you have to do you have to give a demerit to the Emoji Movie on the basis that it has James Corden in it, and James Corden is the most unbearable person. And I liked Gavin and Stacey, but I still find James Corden unbearable. He doesn't say back off, good with a stain. Back off! TJ Miller? What's the verdict on TJ Miller? I liked him in Cloverfield. I liked him in Yogi Bear. I actually haven't seen Yogi Bear, I just know that he's in it. Hey chat, who's the main bad guy in the Yogi Bear movie? Like, who's the actor? Isn't it like the brother in Scrubs or something like that? Not sure. Speaking of movies, this is actually a rare part of the season where we actually have 3 movies that we wanted to check out. In our nearby theatre, currently we have Creed 2 is playing. Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph breaks the internet. Want to check that out. Although I've heard it isn't as good as the first one, but I still want to watch it. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I've heard is actually fantastic. I'm really looking forward to all of those. we'll get around to it. Probably Creed 2 first, because that's probably on its way out, because it's been out a little while. But it also seems like it's probably done well, so it's probably going to be around a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Sorry, I kind of got wrapped up in school things. It was just like, got to the point where I couldn't even enjoy nice things.
Yeah, and as Garrett points out, Spider-Verse was made by Lord and Miller, famous for Now, the Lego movie. Wasn't Lord and Miller also Clone High? Because Clone High was a really good show. I fucking love Clone High. That was the Say What show.
Yeah, I know.
Have you watched Clone High?
No.
If anyone doesn't know, Clone High is a little-known animated show that only ran for one season. That was all about a high school a high school filled with students who were genetic descendants of historical figures. So the main character was Abe.
I thought
as
they
in
were
Abe Lincoln.
clones. And that's why it's called Clone High.
Yeah, they were clones.
You said genetic descendants.
Sorry, they're different. They're perfect copies.
Oh, honey. You poor thing.
Okay. Sorry about that. Abe, who was Abe Lincoln, and then they had Gandhi. I think there was a big protest about Gandhi being in the show, but, I don't know. Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and JFK, I think, was one of the characters. It was a really funny show in any case. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, I liked how that was a plot point in Creed, that Creed's gal was had a hearing loss thing. I always appreciate in movies when there's some kind of form of representation that wasn't needed. I actually wanted to do a video about Kong Skull Island. If anyone hasn't seen Kong Skull Island, I actually really recommend it, even if you're not that much of like a King Kong fan, if that's still a thing.
It's really good. And
it's genuinely really good. And it has John C. Reilly
I
in
know,
it.
like, there's the whole, like, they dropped the ball with the weird Godzilla remake, but King Kong is really good. So I'm hopeful that the movie monster cinematic universe will be okay, hopefully. But, Jack, you know what I'm going to ask you, right?
What's going on?
Do the impersonation of the main actor dude. And
Oh no, I need context for that. I need to show people clips of it first.
No,
But-
just
No,
do
no,
like
no,
because it's the same. It's
I
the
need to
same
build
no
up
matter
to it.
what. Like whenever like a tragic event happens, his reaction is the
His
same.
reaction is the same. I'll show a clip of it. I don't want to give away my impression of it quite yet until I have the full
Aw.
context. Because there's now the Cinematic Monsters universe. Part of that is Kong Skull Island, but then preceding that was the last Godzilla movie. If anyone saw that, the last American Godzilla movie, not the one from the 90s, the one that had Aaron Taylor Johnson in it. I wasn't really impressed by Godzilla, that one. It had Bryan Cranston in it too. It was like a combination of melodramatic, but also very mundane and dull. In stark contrast to Kong Skull Island, which is a beautiful film, which is full of color and life and energy and interesting characters and interesting character dynamics. And to wrap around to my point, it had really good representation, despite the fact that it didn't need to do that at all. Like, when you take the basic Kong setup and also the fact that the movie is set, I think in the 50s or 60s, they could have had no black representation, no person of color representation, because, back in those days, they weren't around as much or whatever. Also, the woman could have just been another damsel in distress type character who just becomes a love interest at the end, because they could just say, well, that's how it was in the original movie, so we'll just follow that. But then she isn't at all, actually. They don't really push it for that at all, her being a damsel in distress, love interest type character. They do a lot of things that I found really impressive in the Kong Skull Island that I was not expecting. So, yeah. Opinions of Pyrocynical. I haven't really watched his videos. Is he an edgelord? Seems like maybe is the sense I've got from him is that he's another one of those edgelord types, like a Leafy is here, but I don't really know. Admittedly,
The only thing I remember of Pyro, it was like Leafy light version.
Monster blockbuster trend seems like a lot came out recently. Yeah, I was meaning to see that Pacific Rim Uprising, but I didn't get around to it. If anyone wants to ask me about politics, you're welcome to too. We've gotten like super media-y, which is fine. I love talking about like films and games and TV and stuff like that. But if anyone does want to talk about politics, feel free to. Preferably with some amount of context. Pacific Rim Uprising was embarrassing. I'll talk about Brexit. Well, Mum.
Well, Mom, let me tell you about Brexit.
Seems like it's a bit of a mess. It seems like exactly what all the experts warned of. The experts is kind of happening now. In spirit, there is a leftist angle you could take for being pro-Brexit in terms of the EU being kind of a neoliberal well, not kind of, very much a neoliberal organization. I know Corbyn himself was pretty pro-Brexit for quite a period of time, but at the same time, in practical terms, I think one, it got taken over significantly by the far right. An unfortunate reality of it. It got taken over not by people that genuinely wanted to move away from the neoliberal status quo, but just people that wanted to get rid of them Muslims and thought that would be the road to doing that. And then on the other angle, I think it's just a poor economic decision, at least as it was warned by anyone who knew much about the subject, and it's all coming true. And my bitcoins have lost value, and I bet that's because of Brexit as well. My bitcoins are worth nothing. Actually, I think that they've gone up in the last 2 days. But Ken Loach and Ken Loach and Stuart Lee both made good counter arguments against the leftist pro-Brexit stance. I'm big fans of both of those people. Can't specifically remember what they were talking about in terms of counter arguments to the leftist pro-Brexit stance, but I'll look that up again. I've watched like most of Stuart Lee's stuff, not in the last few months. In America, you can't get British entertainment. It's America only. Trade what? I need to know trade what.
Your bitcoins.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. Maybe.
Why don't you get Dogecoins? That seems like a great idea.
How is Dogecoins doing?
How are Dogecoins doing?
I have
I'm gonna make a cryptocurrency called Pepe Points because that won't be dated at all.
I've bitcoins and I have a few other cryptos laying around. Not really anything anywhere near substantial. I just kind of threw a few pounds in a lot of different places just to see if something would explode. But yeah, I like H-Bomber Guy a lot. I think he's a pretty funny person. I know he's turned a lot of people on the right further to the left. I wish that he produced videos more frequently, but whatever. He's free to take more time with his stuff. I know he's been working hard.
I mean that the whole video with Control-Alt-Delete was a work of art.
Yes.
So it takes a while to create a masterpiece, Jack. It's beautiful.
Someday I hope to create something at the level of Control-Alt-Delete. The Control-Alt-Delete video that H-Bomber Guy did. Not Control-Alt-Delete itself. That's far beyond my capacity for art and creativity. Because the interesting thing with the H-Bomber Guy video was I was kind of thinking about wasn't it? Weren't we kind of talking about Control Delete and gamer culture and how the demonization of Jack Thompson is interesting when you look at it in the modern day? Like the level of violent toxicity against Jack Thompson kind of in a way proved him right.
I'm just thinking about that.
We're gamers, don't fuck with us.
The Tim Buckley. He's just... Oh, God. Basically saying, we're not violent, but then also, like, giving a vague threat in the next sentence.
Yeah. You found his Control Delete video confusing?
I guess, like, if you had no... I mean,
If you don't
actually,
too much
I
of a
really
conceit
didn't... I really didn't... The only thing I knew about Control Alt Delete was the Lost comic, and also that it had an animated series that was apparently really bad. But that's all I really knew about it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, really, I'm just glad he didn't do it actually on Sonic 2, because I don't really care that much about the Sonic the Hedgehog games. I like Sonic Generations a lot.
You should watch that video. It's very empowering.
Wait, did we not? We did watch it.
No, we didn't. Well, I watched it, but you haven't.
I thought that we watched it the other night. I don't know.
Okay.
See, these are the kinds
Sorry.
of These are the kinds of fights you have when you're married. You know, we watched this. No, we didn't. Fuck off. You know, it just. Good, Brett. Sorry, I got distracted by chat for a little while there, so let me just scroll back up.
Yeah, good with the stain. Sorry, I hope we didn't, like, upset you in any way. Just,
I think they were just making a joke.
We do have to deal with actual fighting now. We have downstairs neighbors that are, like, yelling and screaming all the time. It's just 3 a.m, time to fight.
Yeah. I'm actually really impressed with them. I like to give let's all do a clap for the people downstairs who are not yelling and screaming today for our benefit, probably. They probably heard, they've probably got a stream going up there. We'll quiet down. And they did do so. And also upstairs generally is like super loud with their footsteps. And they've been okay. So
yeah,
it's good.
It's actually very interesting is we lived in this apartment for the longest time, and the 4th floor above us was very quiet, and now all of a sudden...
I don't think anyone was moved in.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, but now, every now and again, it just sounds like a stampede.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe that's what we sound like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact, maybe they don't have carpet up there to muffle it somewhat.
It doesn't... I mean, it's no big deal. If it's just like hearing other people existing, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I just don't like hearing yelling.
Yeah. To the person who asked in chat, I forget who it was exactly, about like how much longer we're going to be going, probably another 20 minutes or so. We'll see how we get on. Unless we get into some cool chats with folks about various things. Hey Jack, what are some shows or movies that you really want to watch but never find the time? So Legion, if anyone knows the show Legion, the first season was fantastic. So that it was made by created by Noah Hawley, who did the Fargo TV show, which is one of my favorite shows. Legion is it's supposed to be an X-Men spin-off, where it takes a character from the X-Men lore and makes a whole show about him. First season, fantastic, very artistic, and a lot of interesting story beats, story twists, but I haven't got around to watching the second season. Same goes for Atlanta. I wanted to get through that, just haven't had the time, because I really liked that first season. Haven't seen the second season.
Sure.
What?
Say goodbye to your mother.
Oh, see you later, Mum. Bye, Mum. And what's the show? Yu Hakusho. Me and Britt have slowly been making our way through Yu Hakusho. We've just finished the first arc. We're going to keep going from there, because we're like massive Hunter heads, as they call HH heads. Triple H's, they call us. Fans of Hunter x Hunter. And Yu Yu Hakusho was the thing he made before Hunter x Hunter. And there's an anime version of it that's quite good. It gets bad later on. I actually heard that it gets better as it goes along. Oh, let's see how it goes. What's the likelihood of Trump being impeached? To be quite honest, the fact that he hasn't yet been impeached makes me feel like it's unlikely to happen. And he's probably going to get voted out. I don't know. I feel like most of the time when there's a vote thing and I hope that a certain result happens, it's always the opposite at this stage. So, I don't know. Hopefully he won't get a second term. That's as far as I'll go.
I've had a big theory of how to impeach Trump. And here's my thing. So, a lot of Trump supporters are white people, right? So, like, when you talk about cases of, like, oh, here was Trump being racist, or, oh, here's Trump, like, making legislation against transgender people, right? That doesn't faze them at all. So, the big secret is we gotta get a videotape of Trump abusing a dog. Because white people will care about animal abuse.
You think?
And that's how you impeach Trump.
What if it's a pit bull?
Yes. Because...
Even if it's a pit bull?
I think that might deter some people, but there will be a lot of white people that go, oh, how could you do that to that poor innocent dog? Oh, I really can't support you anymore. That would be...
White people do like dogs a lot. I like dogs a lot.
I love dogs.
We need to get a dog. What would Trump's excuse be if there's video that came out of him like beating a dog?
I don't know. Like the dog had rabies or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just protecting myself.
Rage McGee says, is it hard to get the ideas for your videos, or do you just decide on a recent game/film you've seen to analyze? So most of the time, so my main advice to fellow creators, as anyone who's seen my previous streams would know, is once you get inspired by a certain thing, immediately start writing notes about it. And that's what I generally find with media, is it will be something I've recently seen or played that just like sparks something in my head and I have to write it down. Because I lose track so quickly of things. Like, I get distracted so easily and then stop caring as much and whatever. So usually what I'll do is it will be something that sort of pops up while I'm making one video, and then I'll just think, oh, I'll move straight into that one next. Like Alice in Wonderland thing, I was making my Sky High video, and then we just watched Alice in Wonderland one day, and I just thought, fucking hell, more people need to talk about this movie, because this movie's something else. So I started working on that one, which I'm glad is picking up steam, because for a long time I would have considered my Alice in Wonderland video my weakest video, because it's kind of meandering and it doesn't really get to the point until more than half an hour in. And it also bummed me out because it took, among the longest videos to do, it took quite a while to get it all edited up, just because of how long a video it was. But it seems like people generally enjoy it, and it got a lot of hits anyhow. But sometimes, to go back to the question, I will pick something from a little while ago that interested me, that I felt like writing about. I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. So Lloyd in Space thing. I think the thing with the Lloyd in Space video was I'd seen that Zoids episode a long time ago, and just, I don't know, every month or so it just pops into my head. That Lloyd in Space episode. I think it definitely had some deep down positive impact on me. And so it was basically that made me think, okay, I'll nestle that away as a thing worth talking about, because there aren't really any videos on the subject. There isn't really anyone talking about that Lloyd in Space episode. So I just sort of nestled it away. And then eventually I'd finished a video and I thought, I don't really know what to do next. So I just pulled that out and started writing about it. My newest video is actually the same thing, where it was something that I had been wanting to talk about for a while, and then increasingly I feel like I have to do something about it. It's relevant to my Massacre on Martin and Third video. If anyone saw that, my speculative fiction fake documentary thing. It's very relevant to that. People seem to enjoy that video, by the way. Somehow it's one of my least controversial videos, even though there is a certain aspect of argumentation that I think has a lot of validity to my Massacre on Martin and Third video being a little bit problematic. Bye, Mum. I have not read Octavia Butler to the best of my knowledge. If you can list some of her work, I will. Because thing with me is kind of like music. As part of my degree, when I was doing English language and literature and then English literature, there were so many authors I would just go through like one or two things they did because I had to write a paper on that specific thing. So I have like a baseline familiarity with a lot of things, but no specific knowledge, and I'd need something to remind me to call it to the front of my head. I only realized recently that I had actually read quite a bit of Foucault, or however that's pronounced. Superstructures. Although I do need to read the Bread book. Is the Bread book good, everyone? Everyone tells me the Bread book's good. And once I read it, I'll be a real leftist. But if it's overrated, just tell me and I'll just fucking watch Space Jam. That'll tell me what I need to know about capitalism. It is overrated, or is it? Or yes, it's good. Okay, it is good. Okay, I'll give it a shout. I don't know why it's holding. I guess because it considers it spam. Be warned, chat. The chatbot is holding comments that include bread emojis. YouTube's fucking censorship. This is leftist suppression. Can't even talk about bread anymore.
Bread is dead.
Yeah, conquest of bread is what I'm talking about. You think Foucault would enjoy Space Jam? Should I do a superstructural analysis of Space Jam? I don't know. I feel like doing a Marxist analysis reading of Space Jam would be stepping on Big Joel's toes a little bit, but I'm sure that he'll give me his blessing. I mean, I was kind of doing that anyway with the Sky High video, but yeah. There's a lot of support for a Space Jam video.
Jack, what is on your Christmas list? Lindsay Tart.
What?
Lindsay Tart asks, what's on your Christmas list?
Peace and love on the earth, and the love of my sweetheart, and Spider-Man for the PS4, and Detroit Become Human, and Middle Earth, Shadow of War. But mostly peace and love. What's on your Christmas list, Brett?
I like This Is Only a Dream. I know it's never going to be reality, but just like
you can't have a Christmas list with things that aren't real.
A bunch of Copic markers. That's what I like. That's all I really need.
Get some more markers at some point.
Or just a bunch of Ohuhu markers.
You want to show the chat all of your Copic markers?
I guess I can show all of my Copic markers. Actually, I don't even have a bunch of Copic markers. I only have like a handful. Don't you mean my other markers?
Show like the giant pile of markers.
Okay, I'll show the giant pile of markers.
Brett has a lot of marker pens. She likes to do art of the traditional form, like some kind of nerd. I'm more of a digital artist. I mostly do graphics tablet type art. But Britt's been getting really into traditional stuff, and I like her art a lot. You can show off some art for us, Britt?
No. Well, I don't know.
Jack's mum to be there.
Just kidding. So, that's all of them. I made myself a little case, so It's have them all sorted out like.
Which and which pen? Which is each pen?
You looking for the Copics?
Well, just in general, what are these different brands?
Well, this is Copic. What is it? Chow. So they're like the thinner ones, but they're the cheaper ones, and they're also refillable.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are the ones that got a bunch of, Cali art. So this looks like a lot, but like these here were like 100 of them for $50, so it's not that bad. These cause cancer in the state of California. These chart pack ADs, so I don't use them too much.
We can look forward to getting sued for that, for libel. Oh, sorry, slander.
Mhm. And that's it. I've got pro markers because I begged Jack to buy them for me.
How are the pro markers?
I like them. It's just that the one reason I was like tempted to go over to Copic was because they're refillable.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my collection.
For all those people that didn't ask.
For all the people, you asked me to.
No, I know. I asked you, but the chat, I don't think the chat asked. Just because you brought up Copics. It's a good collection.
It is.
I don't know how much it's worth.
I don't know. Also got a bunch of, I got a bunch of shit.
Show some artwork. Oh, there was one thing I did mean to do actually, as like a little nice thing to finish things off. I guess I'll do a quick retrospective, like, because this will be probably basically my end of year stream. I'll do a quick retrospective on my channel. Some of you, because a lot of you are coming in here having only watched maybe my last 2 or 3 videos, and give you a sense of what I'm all about. As we sort of finish things off, we'll end the year stream by having a look through. That's our material. 1 second. I'll show you my track that I've gone down. Let's go here. So if I go to my oldest, to my newest. So for those who are not so much aware of my content, I actually started off more as an animator. I'll show you my first video, Pokemon parody.
I love Pokemon parody. It's a classic.
Because again, at the time, my passion was fully into animation, not so much into political stuff. I wanted to make points, but it wasn't really political points because back in 2013, I was kind of just liberal, I guess. Whoa, look at me, I'm a video game character. Look at me, I'm going around on my day.
I don't even have to hear the audio.
You don't even
I can
do
just
when you're a
hear it in
video
my
game
head.
character. I'm throwing a Pokeball. And it's a man, but it's a normal animal, so I can't catch them. So I shoot them, first person shooter, video games violence. And this lady's got boobies, video game boobies. I couldn't tell you one way or the other. Yeah, so that was more making a point about the fact that it was such the thing at the time. Like, racist Mario was the big thing around then. I don't know if you know what racist Mario is, but it was when you had a lot of animations like, what if this video game character was actually doing things that would be very inappropriate for a video game character to do? What if Mario did drugs? And I was responding
What
to
if
that.
Mario ate the mushroom and he started tripping?
What if Princess Peach was a prostitute?
What if Sonic, when he says he's fast, he is actually talking about his sexual performance?
Yeah, so then I did a lot of just like weird video game animations, things like that. Here's my favorite person animation.
Shit, it's sinking.
The height of intellectual humor at the time. Then I moved on to giant boy animations, which is where I got my first like validation, I guess.
Oh, Jamie J.
Oh, sorry,
I
Jamie.
apologize if that wasn't meant to be a Jamaican accent. I think that was meant to be a poor man's iDubbbz. So.
Oh right,
Yeah.
yeah.
What if Mario ate the mushroom?
Yeah, that's just like iDubbbz, his weird voice that he does. That may be in its own way racist, but
Well,
We're-
I don't know.
we're going
I
after
don't know.
iDubbbz.
iDubbbz
not-
is a little problematic.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Listen, Britt, it's either all okay or nothing's okay.
it's all okay or nothing is okay.
Because people did tend to like these giant boy animations I did. They're the first like bigger projects I did with animation in some years, and they did pretty good view-wise. But then I started to pull away from that stuff because it was like I didn't just want to be known as the giant bomb animated guy, which is how I was for that small period. Because I did get quite a few views, especially relative to what I was used to. But I wanted to pivot away from that, so I did like some fan animations of different things that I liked, like Stuart Lee, who was at the time and still probably is my favorite comedian. And then after that, I did more video game stuff, more Giant Bomb stuff. You can kind of get a sense of what's going on here, where I'm clearly doing things to try and grab a certain audience, like things that are derivative of what has already been made. My heart was always in original creative works, but I felt that I could never find the audience for that kind of thing, which unfortunately I was proven right because I decided to go all the way in at the start of this year, or actually most of last year and a good portion of the start of this year with Big Iron. So I wrote a full adult drama series inspired by stuff like Twin Peaks and Fargo and True Detective, things of that nature, Breaking Bad, shows like that. It was a full season of episodes that actually goes into stuff like unions and alienation and class hierarchies and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it never got funded beyond the first episode, which I was able to produce, which is a full 25-minute thing, which if anyone does want to watch that, that'd be appreciated, I guess. Didn't really get any views. I pushed it around everywhere. No one wants to watch a 25-minute long original thing that isn't based on any property that's like currently established. And so that was probably my depressive period. On the bright side, it did result in Rational Big Boy. And then from there, I started doing my video essays. And then Plain Bay and James Gunn, they got shouted out a little bit over on like Lefty Twitter, I think, was my main path to views there. Keeping in mind that at the time, I think the Plain Bay and James Gunn videos had like 2K views for like a good period of time, like 2,000 views around there, maybe 3,000. Did a few more. Sky High video kind of took off a little bit. I think it got to maybe 4K views, maybe even up as high as 5.
Yeah.
And then I kept doing video essays because people generally responded positively.
Didn't you take off like after the first LGBT kids cartoons?
Yeah,
did?
so that was my main. I wouldn't even say it's that video took off. It was more like the algorithm picked me. It kind of makes me hate even though it worked out for me, it kind of makes me hate the algorithm even more because I feel like it wasn't that my content had changed. It was just that YouTube had randomly decided, oh, this is a person worth pushing. So then in quick unison, this video got pushed really hard by the algorithm and like it was on everyone's thing. And then my Sky High video got pushed on everyone, which is now at fucking 300,000 views.
And I think the next one was
Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland got pushed to everyone, and then a smattering of my other videos got pushed around, and I guess the 90s cartoon one got pushed around too. So yeah, this is like, I've been basically hopping between interests, and this is the one that seems to have grabbed people the most, so I'm going to keep doing it for a little while. If anyone's curious about how we got here. Yeah, I mean, my Sky High video was also good for anyone who gets upset because, for instance, they put a lot of work into something and then it really didn't take off very much. Just wait, because it might not. It might remain low views and it's like whatever, you know. every day there's fantastic videos that fly under the radar. But you never know if one day the algorithm will just pick your thing and then suddenly the views will explode. As has happened to a lot of my content. I mean, maybe my channel will die now. Who knows? Maybe I was a free trick pony, and the algorithm will just give up on me. But again, it seems like people like the work, and somehow I've got 72 people here, who again I'm really appreciative of that you guys join me on this little adventure. Give yourselves a clap for that, for joining me here today.
Maybe a corn?
Maybe a corn. Maybe a corn emoji on our symbolic symbol. What was it? The Sky High video was the first one you saw? Or was it the LGBT one? I've did my previous live stream, if anyone's interested to see it, is sort of a criticism of my Sky High video because, funnily enough, despite the fact that my Alice in Wonderland and Sky High videos are the videos that have most taken off on the algorithm at this point, they're not really the videos I like the most. I think there's a lot of gaps in them. There's a lot of fluff, like where I'm talking about shit that has nothing to do with the actual argument I want to make and is obfuscating a lot of what I'm saying. But I can see the entertainment value in them, and I'm glad that my LGBT stuff also took off because those are the videos that I'm really happy with. The LGBT videos, I do feel like I made exactly the points I wanted to make and presented exactly what I wanted to present, and it stuck with people. The NPC game was your first video. Interesting thing with that one, I got to give more credit to Curio on that one, because I might not have made that video if not for Curio, because I was talking to Curio about how, the NPC meme, looking into it, seems like a subject worth covering in like a video. Just sort of like, yeah, it would be a good, cool thing, but I probably won't end up making it because by the time I make it, it'll be way too, it'll be old news, it'll be a dead meme and no one will want to talk about it. But then Curio was just like, oh, do you want to collab on it? And then I was like, sure. And then he produced his segment really fast, and then I felt inspired to produce my segment at a comparable speed. So we actually managed to put out that video in just one week. It was like the weekend following the release of my previous video. I chatted with Curio and was like talking about the NPC meme. We just went that weekend pretty much, got started on it, and then it was ready. It was ready by Friday. The plot holes response was your first video. Interesting. That one it was like the closest thing to having taken off because it's a response video at the time. Especially because people were really going after Patrick Willem because it was like, who was it that did a video about, it was like EFAP or like Mula and the Dishonored Wolf and Rags and all that all went after Patrick Willems for his plot holes video. And I had my own issues with it, so I made a video and then that took off a little bit. Interestingly enough, that's now my that's like one of my least viewed video essays. So I guess the response video to like do response videos and you'll get views thing doesn't really work for me. What were you saying? What
I was just giggling at a tweet. Somebody named Kirsten K Forever had tweeted, "Life hack, make your dating bio. What are you reading so you can quickly identify when you found the one?" And somebody had sent her a tweet about, "I'm reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life and Elon Musk's biography. What are you reading?" It's just like instant filter. You already know.
Yeah. Captain Spirit was your first one. Okay. I don't know how I feel about my Captain Spirit video at this point. I was kind of trying to emulate writing. I was like channeling writing on games, sort of that / Super Eye Patch Wolf. Well, with that particular video, that wasn't really any kind of political.
That video,
angle.
I think, because it feels like that video is just we played Captain Spirit, and I really
didn't like it.
Even right in the middle of it, it's like you knew you wanted to make a video about it. It's like it was like that inspiring, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Then it's just somebody needs to talk about this because
I'm on Circle Broke too. Yeah, I mean I'm on like the Discord with that community. They've tended to be pretty. When I had like no views. they were pretty supportive. Like, I'd post my video essays there, like back when I was at the period of Plain Bay and James Gunn, when I could barely scrape together like 2,000 views. I'd post it on Circle Broke and they tended to like it. Since then, I've got a lot more in with like BreadTube community type folks, but yeah. Or do you mean I'm on it, like I'm on the subreddit? Like someone posted something of mine? I don't know. I'll give Peterson some credit that sometimes when you're in an interview, you know, I mean, I'm doing it right now on the live stream. Things don't just pop into your head, even if you do have things to say about it, if you know what I mean, like when you put on the spot. But that doesn't seem to be an issue that Peterson generally has, so maybe that's a little bit more revealing. I don't know.
Well, does that mean he couldn't think of, like, I don't know.
Who did he end up saying?
I don't know.
J.K. Rowling.
I mean, sure, having an answer is better than, like, no answer. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe if he admitted he just hadn't read that many female authors. I haven't read that many female authors, but of the ones I have read.
Why didn't he just say Christina Hoff Sommers? Did he not name one later? Did he just never name one? I don't know. Oh, you guys, it creeped the hell out of me. There was a video that just popped up on my feed, like last night. I checked it out. It's like a cult video. It's like a Jordan Peterson animation, like tribute animation, where he's like motivating this kid to self-actualize, and it feels like a cult recruitment video. And if any of you can find it, it's like...
Wait, you never show me this.
I'll show it to you after the stream, but it's like really creepy. It's got a bunch of views, and it's like... I get that Jordan Peterson's kind of... He cultivates by the nature of his self-help type content, but it's really something else. I think it's popped up on a few people's feeds at this point, because it had quite a lot of views, but yeah, it weirded me out. I don't remember the title, like Jordan Peterson tribute animation or something like that. Basically, it's like Jordan Peterson is Kermit the Frog, and I guess that kind of like, oh, they're just making little light jokes at his expense. But then the video veers off into like very kind of worshipping territory that made me feel a little bit odd. I'll take another like question or two, and then I think we'll call it. Because we have been streaming for quite a while, and I think Britt wants to play some Papi-Yo or something.
Well, how about this? Because I got two things. So I'm partway through Papo-Yo, or I can continue on my Sonic Adventure playthrough, which, didn't you archive the first part?
Of Sonic Adventures, yeah.
Yeah. I played through Sonic's story of Sonic Adventure, and I have yet to continue. So whatever the people want, whatever the people want me to play.
So if anyone does want to keep hanging out, Britt's probably going to play either Sonic Adventure or Papi-Yo on the twitch.tv/Laxsaint.
Yep,
/Laxsaint that you can follow, and then you'll be notified when we go live on that. Also, Garrett, if that's like online anywhere, an hour-long mix of Jordan Peterson quotes turned into a music mix, I would love to listen to that.
Is it okay if the chat posts the link to the animation thing? The Jordan Peterson.
Oh, if you found it, I don't know if it is the one I'm talking about that you found, but go ahead if you want.
If it gets caught in the filter,
there is definitely an anime version of Jordan B. Peterson. He is peak husbando for a lot of that community. So there is absolutely Jordan Peterson anime fan art. Idols are bad. Smash your idols before they milkshake duck. I agree. Anyway, I have merch now, so if anyone wants to buy a shirt and spread the word about my content, that'd be really appreciated. But I do actually broadly agree. It's just, I think capitalism especially tends to reward the cultivation of communities in that cult way. Very eloquent way of me saying that. Like getting your audience emotionally invested in your content, so they'll continue to be loyal to you. Like the notion of customer loyalty is in itself a little bit cult-like, right? But it benefits the system, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see any links, so
Oh, links aren't... Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
link-
change the
get some-
setting, intro green. If you can just post the title, people can look it up themselves. I have heard of Nick Spheres. Nick Spheres' channel is fantastic. Go check out Nick Spheres. I've been chatting to him a little bit back and forth. Their stuff's really nice. It's like it's definitely reminiscent of like maybe a Lindsay Ellis H-bomb-y kind of thing. Yeah. I love her stuff. It's very good. Yeah, and I guess with that in mind, we can probably call it. By the way, everyone go subscribe to Angie Speaks. Angie Speaks is a relatively small channel. She was in my Eddie Brock video, and she's really good. Subscribe. And I guess with that, we can probably call it. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
I want to thank everyone who joined us today. And
Angie Speaks.
Angie Speaks. Angie Speaks. Sorry, I don't enunciate enough. Yeah.
It's that accent.
So I guess we can just Rational Big Boy's back. I think well, sorry, we're ending the stream now, buddy. It's like, you know, we don't. Oi, all right, mate, get off the fucking computer. Let me teach these cocks a lesson or two. All right. Do you want to put the headphones on? I don't need no goddamn headphones. I don't even have ears, aside from these arms. Okay. Well. Looks like you all need a lesson or two before you go on these holiday adventures of today. So, before we leave you for your holiday cheer, I think you should all remember, stay reasonable and rational and skeptical. But most of all, remember the joy and the love in your hearts. Remember that... Oh, Jesus. Remember most of all to love and to be loved. Because at the end of the day, what's life all about if it ain't about being full of joy? Ain't that nice? Goodbye, children. Have a good, happy Christmas and a good new year. And I'll be skeptical of you next holiday season.